your mercy and all that you've done for me, hey, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya, praise ya, hey, praise ya.
We really gotta stop like praise ya. Stop and praise the ancient of days. Teary-eyed with a smiling face, the praise you gave was already ordained. Stop and praise for keeping you in your lane. Give a praise for breaking off them chains. Before you let somebody steal your praise, think about the spirit in which they came. Think about the energy they gave. Is it worth it? Nope, never, no way. Kingdom we broke into a praise dance. I praise y'all for D4 hug daps. Praise Yahweh for the congregation, and I praise him for the angels, the elders, and all their dedication. See this truth, it'll cut you, heal you, it'll make or break you. It's a spiritual walk, it's a spiritual ride. Just don't despise the chastisement when you get chastised. You a son, not a bastard, right? You gon' get chastised. It's a spiritual ride, just vibe. Yeah, just vibe. We gon' ride. All praises to the Most High.
When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, hey, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya, praise ya, hey, praise ya.
Mercy on you, mercy on me. They say the truth has set you free. See prophecy been fulfilled for real. Now what the deal? We giving praise to the God of Israel. Cause it's real out here. People get killed out here. They robbing still out here. It's getting hard out here. The love of many wax cold from what I hear. But we backed by the Most High, so who shall you feel? You gotta be bold and righteous to live. The flesh is seething and wicked. Sin deceiving is vicious. Repentance needed to fix it. His mercy too exquisite to miss it. Just receive the listen. Let's stick to the mission. Believe and receive his blessing. You see, blessings come from above. None of us deserve it. None of us is worthy. But we praise y'all for his mercy.
When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, hey, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya, praise ya, hey, praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, hey, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya, praise ya, hey, praise ya.
We really gotta stop like praise ya. Stop and praise the ancient of days. Teary-eyed with a smiling face, the praise you gave was already ordained. Stop and praise for keeping you in your lane. Give a praise for breaking off them chains. Before you let somebody steal your praise, think about the spirit in which they came. Think about the energy they gave. Is it worth it? Nope, never, no way. Kingdom we broke into a praise dance. I praise y'all for D4 hug daps. Praise Yahweh for the congregation, and I praise him for the angels, the elders, and all their dedication. See this truth, it'll cut you, heal you, it'll make or break you. It's a spiritual spiritual walk, it's a spiritual ride. Just don't despise the chastisement when you get chastised. You a son, not a bastard, right? You gon' get chastised. It's a spiritual ride. Just vibe. Yeah, just vibe. We gon' ride. All praises to the Most High.
When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, hey, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya. Praise ya. Praise
Mercy,
ya.
mercy on you, mercy, mercy on me. They say the truth has set you free. See prophecy been fulfilled for real. Now what the deal? We giving praise to the God of Yisrael, cause it's real out here. People get killed out here. They robbing still out here. It's getting hard out here. The love of many wax cold from what I hear. But we back by the Most High, so who shall you feel? You gotta be bold and righteous to live. The flesh is seething and wicked. Sin deceiving is vicious. Repentance needed to fix it. His mercy too exquisite to miss it. Just receive the listen. Let's stick to the mission. Believe and receive his blessing. You see, blessings come from above. None of us deserve it. None of us is worthy. But we praise y'all for his mercy.
When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, hey, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya. Praise ya. Praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, hey, all I can do is stop and praise ya. When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, all I can do is stop and praise ya. Praise ya. Praise ya.
We really gotta stop like praise, yeah. Stop and praise the ancient of days. Teary-eyed and with a smiling face, the praise you gave was already ordained. Stop and praise for keeping you in your lane. Give a praise for breaking off them chains. Before you let somebody steal your praise, think about the spirit in which they came. Think about the energy they gave. Is it worth it? Nope, never no way. Kingdom we broke into a praise dance. I praise y'all for D4 hug daps. Praise Yahweh for the congregation, and I praise him for the angels, the elders, and all their dedication. See this truth, it'll cut you, heal you, it'll make or break you. This is a spiritual walk, it's a spiritual ride. Just don't despise the chastisement when you get chastised. You a son, not a bastard, right? You gon' get chastised. It's a spiritual ride, just vibe. Yeah, just vibe. We gon' ride. All praises to the Most High.
When I think of your mercy and all that you've done for me, hey, all I can do.
Shalom Facebook, Shalom YouTube. Welcome to our prophecy class. Today we're in the book of Isaiah, chapter 35. But before we get started, does anyone have any questions? Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about the creations of Adam and Eve. When Abel set up the sacrifice, and Cain failed to do it the way Yahweh want him to do it.
Mhm.
The question is, Adam and Eve, did it, have they ever done it like, they never done that before. They never done the sacrifice, but Abel did.
So your question is what? How did he know?
Who did it first?
Yahweh.
The sacrifice.
Yeah.
Not through Adam and Eve, but Abel.
No. You remember when the serpent showed them they were naked
Right?
and they were ashamed,
Mhm.
right? So
Oh,
what happened?
right.
What happened?
They created sacrifice.
Hmm.
I mean, before Cain and Abel came about, before they came to
So
the scene.
again, what happened? How did they know about the animal sacrifice to tell Abel that that's what is needed?
They committed sin.
Huh?
They committed the sin first, and they
So how did they know
are
about it?
ashamed
How did they know about
after they.
it? After they sinned,
Right,
right?
right.
What happened?
They sold fig leaves to cover
Well,
their shame.
well, that wasn't enough, was it?
No,
What did
they
they
had
do?
to, they had to
What did
kill
Yahweh do? See, they did that themselves. But what did Yahweh do?
That's the point I'm missing. They did it themselves
With the fig leaves.
with the fig. Right.
Right.
Okay.
So it wasn't enough because they still could see the nakedness. So what did Yahweh do?
Before they kick him out of the garden. Then before they kick him out, they got kicked
Well,
out of the
they were
garden.
still in the garden
Right.
when Yahweh did that for them. So what did he do? The fig leaves wasn't working.
So they had a sacrifice. They had to do a sacrifice.
Well,
Elder.
let's
I mean,
read.
what?
Let's read. Let's go back to Genesis.
Yes. Now.
Genesis chapter 3. At verse 21, it says, Unto Adam also and to his wife did Yahweh Elohim make coats of skins and clothe them.
Okay.
So how did they get the coats of skin?
They killed the animal.
They had to kill an animal, right? Take that skin off of him and put it around Adam and Eve. So that's how they understood the spiritualness of that animal's death, in that it evolved into our law, so that whenever we sin, we have a sin substitute for our sin. That substitute is an animal. All right. So we sacrifice that animal for our sins. So we got the same mechanism here, that an animal was sacrificed. Now, again, this is the first death, actually.
That was the point. First death.
This is the first death because an animal had to die to cover up their nakedness. Right? Now, we don't know how Yahweh killed the animal, but it was sacrificed for their nakedness.
Yes, sir.
Shalom, bro, bless.
Did nobody say that? Nobody said that, did he?
What happened?
He said it's not that. I'm just late. Did nobody say that? Nobody stared at you or nothing. Isaac Hayes, guilty. I stand again.
You understand what we're talking about now?
Yes, sir.
So you understand the difference between Abel's sacrifice and Cain's sacrifice,
Yes, sir.
right? In the issue of Adam and Eve, blood was shed. So Abel took that as an example of sacrifice that Yahweh wants to cover your sin. Right? So he offered up the correct sacrifice. And Yahweh told Cain After Cain realized his sacrifice wouldn't be accepted,
Right.
he said, look at what it says here in Genesis chapter 4. I just picked this up at verse 1 to verse 7. And Adam knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from Yahweh. And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto Yahweh. And Abel, he also brought the firstling of his flock and of the fat thereof, and Yahweh had respect unto Abel and to his offering. But unto Cain and to his offering he had no respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And Yahweh said unto Cain, why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. What he's saying is that you have a sin sacrifice at the door. All you have to do is sacrifice that sin sacrifice. Talking about a sheep. Take that and sacrifice for your sin. So that's why that's when you look at Abel's sacrifice and Cain's sacrifice. Abel's sacrifice was accepted and Cain wasn't, and Yahweh told him, well, this way I want you to do it. Bring me the same sacrifice that your brother Abel gave me. Don't bring me no vegetables.
Right.
Okay? So you have enough. He said, when he says sin lieth at the door, he's talking about the sin sacrifice lying at the door. Bring me that. And that'll be acceptable to me. Okay? Yeah,
I
man.
have two questions about that. One I've been wanting to ask for a minute, but so Cain, what he should have did, because he was a tiller of the ground, he should have bought a sacrifice from his brother, pretty much, because he was a tiller of the ground. He didn't have access to sheep because his brother was the sheep man. He was the ground man. You know?
Right.
So that's what he should have done, right?
Yeah, the thing about that also, if you notice, it said in verse 4, it says, and Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. And Yahweh had respect unto Abel and to his offering. So,
That's part of my second question.
okay.
Okay. Well, where it says he brought the firstlings of the flock, that's like the firstborn, you know what I mean, whatever. Well, it's part of the law. But with Cain, you hear first fruits throughout the scripture. It doesn't say first fruits for him. So
Right.
he brought the first, he probably brought the best of the vegetables. That would have helped him a little bit because it doesn't say he brought the first. You know what I mean? Like with Cain, like Abraham, he brought the firstlings of the flock, like, you know, the firstborn, whatever, you know what I mean? But with Cain, it doesn't say even the ground, it doesn't say he offered the first. He just offered what he wanted to offer, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So does that have something to do with it also as well? Not, he could have bought a sheep from Abel, but he also didn't bring, and even though he brought vegetables, he didn't bring the first, the best of the vegetables.
Right.
That might have to, do you think that has something to do with it too?
Mm-hmm. That's right, because Abel knew better.
Mm-hmm.
And he had, when he said firstlings, that's a lot of sheep.
Right.
So he probably had more left over that Cain could have got. Right. So again, that's what Yahweh's looking for. The blood and the fat of that sheep to cover your sin, cover Abel's sins, whatever they were.
Elder. Now, what I see in that, correct me if I'm wrong. Even though Cain brought up the fruit of the ground, but at that time, the ground was cursed. Am I wrong or right?
The ground was what?
The ground
Cursed?
cursed, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the ground was cursed. So he actually brought a curse. Huh?
Well, you really can't look at it that way, Elder. I mean, if that being the case, uh, death was already in the earth at that time,
Right.
right? So just because the ground was cursed, nevertheless, Adam lived now 130 years.
All right.
So it couldn't have been that cursed.
but he lived 930 years. But yet on the same token, he had to his duties was the toil of ground.
Well, yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
all right.
Yeah, well, he still lived 930
Yeah,
years. So
yeah, yeah,
it couldn't have been that bad.
yeah.
Yeah, it was hard work.
Oh.
Yeah, but you know, he lived 930 years. That's all I'm saying.
Mhm.
Right. So
So
he
so
ate.
so basically, that's that 3 scores and 10, which actually appointed unto us 3 scores and 10 by reason of strength 4 scores. So that's the limit of our lifespan.
Well, yeah, but it's not like once you hit 70, you're gonna die.
Yeah, but everything
And
after
you'll be in
70,
trouble.
everything after 70 is a blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Praise Yahweh.
Okay. That it?
Yeah, I'm finished with it.
Anyone else have any questions?
I think I want to know.
Of course.
And Deuteronomy 23:7.
What? Deuteronomy?
Deuteronomy, yes, sir. And chapter 23 and verse 7, when they're speaking on that beginning part about thou shalt not abhor an Edomite.
23 and what now?
Verse 7.
Verse 7.
Yes, sir.
Okay. It says, Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother. Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou was a stranger in his land.
Okay, that first part with the Edomite. Uh it's certain things like I be seeing that they do, like Deke sent out a video, and I looked at that video, I'm like, I mean, I don't know what else you can do or how else to feel about something like that.
Well, according to Ezekiel, I think Ezekiel 25, Yahweh is going to have Israel to destroy them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we won't feel any remorse, especially when you read articles like that, or listen to that video like you listen to.
Mm-hmm.
How can you feel sorry for people that do stuff like that?
No, you don't.
Yeah, so there'll be the whole world will rejoice.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't really speak out. So these, well, like I said in my sermon yesterday, they're gangs
Mm-hmm.
and they're murderers. So they got people in fear. Yeah. So yeah. Shalom here. How you doing, man? So they'll be glad once they're gotten rid of, and the world can have peace. But yeah, you're not gonna feel any remorse killing these people.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, no one's scared to even like they dirty laundry is out, and you know how they used to put out different things to try to scare people. No one's scared of them no more. No one, everybody just now got the history of these folks, and it's out there. They can't shut no one down, so they're on the island by themselves. They desperate.
Well, yeah. As long as they got Trump, the United States, they ain't too desperate.
Yeah, they got
Mm-hmm.
their sword is
Yeah, they got the Congress
hmm
and they got all the seats of power, bro.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they do what they want to do. White folk ain't something against them.
They say what? You anti-Semitic, everybody back up.
Yeah,
But what I'm saying is that's not working no more.
That's the biggest weapon they got.
well,
It was working at some point in time to some extent, but now it's not even. It doesn't have as much hold or much staying power as it used to have.
They got extortion now.
Hmm.
They got extortion now.
Oh yeah.
Because everybody been doing stuff they ain't got no business doing to begin with. They've been recording it, knowing that y'all finna do stuff y'all ain't got no business doing. When you have to sit down, they say now it's just extortion. Shut up and go extortion. I mean, that's what they got. Now that's what they really got, extortion.
And they talking about that very hard. It's a big turnaround. I was telling somebody about Bobby Kennedy Jr. He said the government has scandalized us as a people forever. This
Who-
government, as long as it's been in charge,
talking about the president doing what?
scandalized us as a people.
Who, black people?
Yeah. You ain't talking about no whites. You talking about, yeah, blacks.
Okay, let's go ahead and get
PNC,
started.
it's
I
on
got a question from the class yesterday. From the class yesterday.
Go forever.
We was in what was that? First Samuel. When he's talking about Elkanah and Hannah.
First Samuel.
First Samuel.
What chapter?
Chapter 1.
Chapter 1?
Chapter 1 and chapter 2. Yeah.
Was it First Samuel chapter 2?
It's First Samuel. It started First Samuel chapter 1, I think.
Okay. Now
So
we're talking about the vow that Hannah made to Yahweh,
I'm
right?
talking about the relationship between the two wives.
Uh-huh.
It used the word adversary. So it was like, I remember you saying that, the first wife has to choose the second wife. But it looked like in this case, whoever was the first wife, there wasn't, it was no agreements to the marriage because, they used the word adversary. Every time we hear the word adversary, we talk about Satan. You know what I mean? So it's like they never got along from the beginning, it seems like. You know what I mean? Like, it's like definitely just, okay, I'm going to marry somebody else. And I don't need your permission, because they're like they never got along. You see what I'm saying? When they use that, because the word they use adversary, whatever, I forget her name, what's her name?
Chapter 1, verse, let's see here.
Phanuel.
Peninnah.
Phanuel was, they never got along from the beginning. Her and Hannah never got along from the beginning. It seems like, it doesn't say, but
You know why?
because they were adversary.
Do you know why they didn't get along?
What was that?
The same reason Leah and Rachel didn't get along.
Right.
Because of the children.
Didn't get along. You know why? Because one had children and the other didn't. See, like I said, that was the epitome of a woman's desire is to give that man children. And if you can't give that man children, then you get an enemy. We read that in Luke yesterday, chapter 1, that Elizabeth found out that she was pregnant. She said, now my reproach has been taken off of me.
That's right.
Right? So that's why she was an adversary to Hannah, because she couldn't give her husband children. Right? Now, so therefore, how she deal with Hannah is making her feel like she's a reproach. Yeah, no woman wants to feel that way. So she took her to Yahweh, right? So Yahweh blessed her, but you still got the same. That's what happens when you're in a polygamous relationship. Them women in competition with one another, and they want to see who can do better than the other. So you look again, we got Leah and Rachel. Leah was dropping babies all over the place, and Rachel couldn't bust a grape. Got mad at Yaakov. So, but nevertheless, Yahweh still talking to her. She finally started to have a couple of children. But that's the same situation here. They just you look at also Hagar
That's right.
and Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
Hagar was mocking Sarah because Sarah couldn't have any children. And this is the first time that a woman confessed that she was wrong. Sarah went to Abraham and said, "My wrong be upon you.
Clean this mess up, huh?
Clean this mess up."
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because that was her idea.
Right.
Right? I want to go to my maid servant Hagar and make her pregnant. That was her idea. Then Hagar mocking her, said, "I'm pregnant, you ain't." Well, that pissed her off. Said, "I'm taking this to my husband and see what he can do about it." And what did he do? She in your hand, go.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm figuring that she must have beat her ass or something, man.
Yeah. Say she did hardly with her.
Yeah, yeah.
It don't really.
You don't really get that, but it was enough to make her run away.
Yeah, she ran away.
Yeah.
So filthy.
Yeah. So that's the issue with the polygamous marriage. So them brothers that read up in Isaiah chapter 4 and said 7 women can go to one man. Let us take your name, we make our own clothes, cook our own food, just let us take out your name to take away our reproach. So in the kingdom, it will be a reproach unto a woman not to be married.
So with the approach, all the women will have to start having children. So they wouldn't have it just to reproach the name, or also reproach the children too. But the reproach would be name and children. So would it just be the name, would just be the name and children.
The man and the
I
church.
told the name, it's not like reproach. You need the man's name. That take this reproach, but with the relationships we just talked about. Also, there's children, so they would have to have children too to take away that reproach of being childless as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that man would have to have children with all the women, would he?
Yeah, well,
I'm
that's
asking, I'm asking.
I believe what you're describing is Yaakov's situation with them and them two handmaids along with his two wives. They had a bunch of children together. But the only problem they had with one another is Joseph. They couldn't stand him because his father favored him above all the rest of the brothers, so they were jealous of him. He called that sibling rivalry. Yeah, is that what you were?
No, so even though women say we get our own food, our own clothes, so to take away our reproach, the reproach is all at that point it's a name with Hannah and Peninnah, with Sharon and Hagar, with Leah and Leah, or Rachel and Leah, it's like there's also children involved with the word reproach. So for them not to have reproach, they also have at least one child by that man. So that reproach be gone too. So that reproach cover just the name will cover the name and them having children by that man.
Did you say research?
Reproach.
He's talking about what he's saying.
What is the reproach? Just
The
children
reproach of
or just the husband and the name or husband and children? I mean, what is the reproach? Is it just the name of the husband or is it as having
Oh, the
children?
reproach?
yeah.
The reproach is you don't have a man's name.
Okay, so the children not involved with that reproach.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
That's the reproach. You got to be married in the kingdom. Yeah.
But you don't necessarily have the woman don't necessarily have no children by that man.
Well, that's how if they want to arrange it that way.
Okay.
Like, 'cause he's married all seven of them, he ain't got to touch her.
It's by choice. I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, nevertheless, who wants seven women, seven wives, man? Come on, folks. I know it's gonna be the kingdom of heaven, and the devil gonna be on lockdown for 1,000 years, but
Don't they get
you
quiet?
still gonna have that rivalry between the wives. Because one wife might want to spend more time with you than the rest of them. So then they're gonna create some kind of animosity between the wives, and you in the center. You don't want to get there.
The one that talks the less get the most time.
They did what?
The one that talks the less get the most time.
Well, that's up to you.
I mean, have multiple wives. That's really just to fulfill man's lust, right?
um.
Especially over here.
Well, again, first of all, he has to marry one wife first, right? So with that, he could get permission to marry someone else or have some concubines, but has to have permission from his first wife.
Right.
Now, if she don't want that, he can't do it.
Right.
Right.
But like you were saying, why would you want to have multiple wives?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
It just really to fulfill lust,
Yeah, basically. But I'm looking at King David, bro. Look at all them wives he had and all them children he had. What? When did he have time for that? The man was on the run. He either fight Philistines.
Absalom was out there.
Yeah.
He wasn't a very good father, was he?
No, he wasn't a good father, but he's still a man after Yahweh's own heart.
Mm-hmm.
So that don't mean you're gonna be a good father.
Well, in case of any man, just like the elder you replaced, he admitted I wasn't a good father
Yeah,
because he made a covenant that everybody walked through that door, he was going to teach them. So he really didn't have time for a family.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I
So
see why you like you are. You're not married.
no,
And you just giving all your time to Yahweh.
that's exactly what the way Yahweh got it set up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I see what Ed said about the lust part, but I just look back on like with my grandfather out in the country, and some of the men out there, they wanted a lot of sons to help work them fields, and it was more like these my sons help work for me, you know what I mean, and it helped build what we got going on, you know what I mean. So they want a lot of children, and sometimes one woman can't give you all the children, and you just and like 'cause in this day and time we don't really need that because everybody work for themselves. But back then it was a family thing. You need go work this field, help with this, help with that, help with that. The more sons you had, the more what I mean. As you get older, you got a family of men that can help you. You know what I mean? So I see that point as far as these sons to help work these fields and tending animals and do all that stuff. The more sons you got, the easier it is on you and the better, pretty more money you can make. You know what I mean?
well, true, but you got to feed them
Right.
and clothe them.
Right.
Now with
But it pays off when they get older. Start getting older, to help you work. You know what I mean?
so what now?
It's like a future investment. It pays off when they get older and they help you work. And you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's family thing.
yeah. Well, that's the way they used to do it in the old days. My grandparents, I think they had about 9 children and my other grandparents had close to that number too.
Right.
But they all came from one woman, not like Yaakov with 4 women having 12 sons and the rest daughters. But nevertheless, big families were normal back in those days. Back in the 40s and 50s, big families, man, they would had sons all over the place. So and there was nothing. Uh, there was very little technology back in those days. So, like you say, they get out there in that field, the boys get out in that field, plow that field, right? And the daughters would go out in the garden, pick the garden, whatever they have to do. So that they had they were useful to keep the family fed and clothed. So having our children, yeah, that was a blessing. My thing is that all these children uh, came from one woman, and I find that amazing. Can they do that today? Not legitimately, because they'll have 5 or 6 different men having children by them. Now, if they had just one man, that would be legit. But you see the capability of these sisters to have a lot of children. Uh, they're built for it, but they're going about it all wrong. Yeah. Okay. Does anyone else have any questions?
Yes. And the
What now?
in Genesis,
Genesis
yes, chapter 3,
chapter 3.
21. We just went over it.
Chapter 3 and what now?
Verse 21.
21.
Yes, sir.
What about it?
It says that he made coats of skin and clothed them.
Uh-huh.
He clothed. What were they?
Skin,
No.
animal skin.
No. What were they before he put the skin on them?
They had fig leaves tied around them.
Before they did
They were
fig.
butt naked before that.
Okay, so what were they? Were they already having skin on that?
Already having what?
Yeah, how's he gonna put skin? What did he put the skin on?
They put it on their nakedness.
Okay, and what was their nakedness?
Well, they realized they were naked. They didn't have no clothes on. You see in verse 11, he said, who told you that I was naked? See, they didn't even know they were naked at first. So until they ate of that tree, now they see they're naked. Their minds have been taken to another level that they weren't prepared for.
So what kind
And
of
somehow that nakedness was a shame to them. Now,
what kind of nakedness was that? You know what I'm saying?
no, nothing on them, no clothes.
No clothes on, bro.
They didn't have no clothes on them. All right. Would that make them spiritual?
That made them what?
Spiritual?
Spiritual?
Yes.
It'll make them innocent. That's
What
all.
is innocent?
They had no knowledge of what nakedness was.
Mhm.
Would that be spiritual?
Yes.
So he clothed the spirit of them two.
No, they were made that way.
They were
They were
created
made, Adam made from the dust of the ground and Eve was made from
from
Adam's
Adam.
rib,
Okay,
right?
so that made them spiritual.
No, it didn't. This made them first man and first woman.
Okay,
There's
so
nothing
why
spiritual
would he
about
put
that.
skin on them?
Because now they are aware that they are naked. And they are ashamed of being naked. And so Yahweh put coats of skin on them to cover their nakedness. So what is the question? They didn't. Are you saying that they were not naked?
I'm saying, what did he put the skin on? In other words, if they were physical, which they weren't, if they were physical, then I can understand the skin that he made or killed or whatever put on them. And I'm saying, what was it that he put on them? What was it? I know he said he made skin. What was he covering up with the skin?
Skin of an animal?
No, well, I knew it was the skin of an animal.
So in order to cover up their nakedness, which they were aware of now, he made clothing of skins. It was that clothing.
Okay. Maybe I'm producing this a little wrong because I'm not understanding that correct. I'm not getting a good understanding on that.
So what do you think they were before they found out they were
I'm
naked?
thinking they were a spirit.
They were spirit? How can
Yes.
flesh and blood be a spirit?
Well, where did it say he had blood in him?
When he put him to sleep and opened up his side to pull the
It
rib
got
out and sewed it back up.
Yeah, but it didn't
So
say
why did he
nothing
sew
about
it back up if there wasn't no blood there?
well, look, it didn't say anything about blood.
Yeah, but why did he sew him back up?
I didn't see where it said where did it say he sold them up?
Let's look at chapter 2.
If he was spirit, elder, if he was spirit, he'd be living today.
Yeah.
He never would die.
Excuse me?
If he was spirit, him and Eve, they would be living right now.
They still alive. Just like after we get thrown into that dirt, we still gonna be alive spiritually.
So you saying Adam and Eve didn't die?
Well, of the flesh, yes, not of the spirit.
Well, how do you know that?
How?
Because there's going to be a judgment of all flesh, whether living or dead, right?
It's true.
So you don't know who's going to be raised up and when they're going to be raised up.
But still in all right, when you die and they put you in the ground, your spirit dies too?
You have no spirit.
What you mean?
You have no spirit. What you have is the breath of life.
Right. Right.
That's the spirit that you have, and Yahweh gives you that breath of life, and He take it away from you.
Is that the spirit?
That the spirit of breath of life. You confusing man as if he has some eternal spirit. He does not. Never has.
Okay. So when you go either to the lake of fire, all right, or to the 1,000 years to enter eternal life, that's the spirit going through that, or what is it? It's not the soul.
You say that again.
Elder,
No.
if Adam and Eve was spirit, we shouldn't be here because they never would have procreated. Right?
They didn't
Spirits on.
start procreating until the skin was put on them.
So the animal
Before
skin
that,
made them
for
able to procreate. Is that what you're saying?
Excuse me?
Are you saying that the animal skin allowed them to procreate since they were
When
spirits?
they fell in sin, all right, when they sinned, that's when they start procreating. Before that, they never thought about having sex.
Well,
400, 500 years, however long.
how does that, what does that mean for people that are innocent? A baby is innocent, right? These two individuals are the first creations of their kind, so they had no knowledge of what is evil. All they knew is what was good. So, but nevertheless, you can't say that these two people had a spirit. You don't have a spirit. Nobody, flesh and blood, has a spirit.
Mm-mm.
You got the breath of life.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you got.
And that's not the spirit.
That is a breath of life given to you by a spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So that breath of life is saying is or is not a spirit.
It's given to you by a spirit. And that same spirit that gave you that breath of life can take it from you. So that means that once that spirit takes that away from you, you die.
Okay.
So you can't be a spirit.
Okay. That's it. I'm done. You gave me an answer. You gave me the answer. You gave me a good one.
All right, then. Where we at now? I know.
Oh,
I
come
know.
on, man. We gonna be
Hey. That's blessed.
I know it, man. Come on.
Blessed trying to plan for the future, man.
You here 2 hours, man.
Apologize now
Man.
off of that for that this course right there. So what do we say about the soul? Is there a soul in man?
Man is a soul.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Oh.
Let me see here.
I thought spirit and soul was on a similar level. I'm not so we are the soul. The whole
When you go over to Genesis chapter 2,
right.
right? In verse 7, the creation of the first man. It says, and Yahweh Elohim formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul.
Okay, got it. So that's the whole body and life
Yeah, see,
together.
what we're dealing with is here in America. They're descended from the Greeks. They believe there's a separation of body, soul, and spirit. That's not the way our father saw about life. The body, soul, and spirit are one, right? Not that spirit is some disembodied entity that's away from us. That spirit is the breath of life.
And the soul is the life and the body together.
That soul is what holds that breath of life. It is the body itself
Okay, got it.
with the mind. That's a soul.
I want to be clarification. I apologize.
No, don't worry about it, man. I love questions like that, bro. Come on now.
All right, let's get started.
Yeah, we want a class today.
Yeah, well, that's what it's set up
Oh,
for. Let's go ahead and get started. I think we are in Isaiah
yeah. We get on something right here. We just chew on
35. Well,
there.
I opened that door up, didn't I?
Yep.
I said, "Do you have any questions before we get started?" 2 hours later, still asking questions.
Gnawing on the bone.
Let's see here. Isaiah 35. Now, Isaiah 35 is uh it's the first of the indicators that there's going to be a second wilderness experience. We're going to show you through the Bible that it's repeated over and over again, so you know that it's for sure there will be another wilderness experience. Let's pick up this one here in Isaiah 35, verse 1 to verse 10.
I don't even know what I know how to read now. We'll try.
Just go ahead and try it, Steve.
Isaiah 35, verse 1. The wilderness and the solitary place shall be glad for them, and the desert shall rejoice and blossom as the rose. It shall blossom abundantly and rejoice even with joy and singing. The glory of Lebanon shall be given unto it. The excellency of Carmel and Sharon, they shall see the glory of Yahweh and the excellency of our Elohim. Strengthen ye the weak hands and confirm the feeble knees. Say to them that are of a fearful heart, be strong, fear not. Behold, your Elohim will come with vengeance, even Elohim with a recompense. He will come and save you. Then the eyes of the blind shall be opened, and the ears of the deaf shall be unstopped. Then shall the lame man leap as an hart, and the tongue of the dumb sing. For in the wilderness shall waters break out and streams in the desert. And the parched ground shall become a pool, and the thirsty land springs of water. In the habitation of dragons, where each lade shall be grass with reeds and rushes. And an highway shall be there, and a way, and it shall be called the way of holiness. The unclean shall not pass over it, but it shall be for those. The wayfaring men, though fools, shall not err therein. No lion shall be there, nor any ravenous beast shall go up thereon. It shall not be found there. But the redeemed shall walk there, and the ransom of Yahweh shall return and come to Zion with songs and everlasting joy upon their heads. They shall obtain joy and gladness, and sorrow and sighing shall flee away.
Now, compare this wilderness experience to the previous wilderness experience. Well, all the children of Israel that came out of Egypt did was murmur against Moshe, talking about there's no food out here, there's no water out here. And but what we have here is a total opposite of our father's experience. It says in verse 1, the wilderness and its solitary place shall be glad for them, and the desert shall rejoice and blossom as the rose. That our father didn't see that. It shall blossom abundantly and rejoice even with joy and singing. The glory of Lebanon shall be given unto it, the excellency of Carmel and Sharon. They shall see the glory of Yahweh and the excellency of our Elohim. Strengthen you the weak hands and confirm the feeble knees. Say to them that are of a fearful heart, be strong, fear not. Behold, your Elohim will come with vengeance, and even Elohim with a recompense. He will come and save you. Now look at what he says in verse 5 and 6. Then the eyes of the blind shall be opened, and the ears of the deaf shall be unstopped. Then shall the lame man leap as a hart, and the tongue of the dumb sing. But in the wilderness shall waters break out, and streams in the desert. There will be healing out there in that wilderness. Now, Yahweh had to pour out his wrath upon our fathers back in the day. Put them, let the plagues come upon them because they were being disobedient, disrespectful to Yahweh's servant. But you're not going to have that this time. And there was a desert place, like I say, want to water out there, want to eat out there. But this is going to be different. This time you're going to have a reason to complain, right? Well, let's look at another verse because this is not the only thing that's going to be going on out there in that wilderness. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 20. Let's see what else is going to be going on out there. Again, this is referring to a second wilderness experience that people don't realize that's going to come upon the earth. Brother Stephen, upon the children of Israel. Brother Stephen picked us up at Ezekiel 20, verse 32 to verse 38.
Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 32. And that which cometh into your mind shall not be at all that you say, we will be as the heathen, as the families of the countries, to serve wood and stone. As I live, saith the Adonai Elohim, surely with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out will I rule over you. And I will bring you out from the people and will gather you out of the countries wherein you are scattered, with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out.
So two things are happening here. In verse 33, he says, As I live, said the Adonai Elohim, surely with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and fury poured out, will I rule over you. That would be where you are, where we are. You're going to do that while we're here in America, right? Then it says in verse 34, and I will bring you out from the people, will gather you out of the countries wherein you are scattered, with a mighty hand, with a stretched out arm, and with fury poured out. That's the second time he's going to pour his spirit out on his people, yeah.
Okay, with that first fury, it seems like it's gonna be poured out on us, you know, so we can obey what he wants to do, and then eventually get up out of here. But with that second fury, it seems like he's gonna pour it out on the places where we at, so it can help us get up out of here. That's how I'm kind of interpreting it.
The first fury?
The first fury poured out on us. Y'all gonna obey what I'm saying. Y'all finna start listening and heed what I'm saying. Y'all gonna feel my fury. But with the second fury in verse 34, it seems like he's gonna pour it out on the places that we at, so it can help us get up out of here. Like it's pouring on everything that's around us, so we can help us get out. That's how I'm looking at it. Am I correct?
Well, you look at first of all, when you look at verse 32, I know the way the translator got this thing kind of divided, but verse 32 it describes us. In these days, it says, "And that which cometh into your mind shall not be at all, that you say, we will be as the heathen, as the families of the countries, to serve wood and stone, to serve other gods." Right? So that's a mindset of black people today. In verse 33, it says, As I live, said Adonai Elohim, surely with a mighty hand, with a stretched out arm, and with fury poured out, will I rule over you. That will be what will get us up out of here. Right? And as verse 34, and I will bring you out. Now that'll be the second Exodus. And I will bring you out from the people, and will gather you out of the countries wherein you are scattered, with a mighty hand, with a stretched out arm, and fury poured out. Right? So that's us leaving.
Egypt, yeah, I poured fury out on Egypt.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm looking at 33 like that. Yeah. Only thing is, in 33, it's going to be upon us. And if anybody deserves that wrath, it's us. Because you see what we're doing out here, and we're just getting off into all kinds of craziness. And so Yahweh got to pour his wrath out while we're still here. And then continue to pour us out when he brings us out of here. Right? Yes, sir.
Yeah, the scientists is watching Yellowstone.
The scientists are doing what?
They are watching Yellowstone.
Watching Yellowstone? What's it doing?
It's earthquakes are increasing, earth tremors, and it was a report of some murky water around Florida and off the coast of Georgia and Carolina, and they took some samples of that water, and what they found was volcanic material in that water. So I believe that things, America's going to really get shaken up here, which is going to cause the people to leave if things actually go that bad, and it will, because it's prophesied that this land will be uninhabitable when Yahweh destroys it.
You're referring to that caldera, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, they say that if that thing go off, it's going to affect about 75% of this country.
Yeah.
Wow.
They said, yeah. That's how powerful it is.
Yeah, it's pretty big, and it's starting to roil, starting to bubble.
Yeah.
Like you say. Now, I hadn't heard about the water turning murky in
Yeah.
Florida, and where else did they say?
Florida and off the coast of South Carolina.
The coast of South Carolina. Now, how is that connected to that caldera?
Well, I'm not saying it's connected to the caldera. It was just something that was recently discovered, and it got reported on the internet.
So, on the coast of on the East Coast, you got murky water that has volcanic ash in it or something.
Not ash. It's the material that they discovered. That this water came in contact with some volcanic material somewhere. It was just in the water. The water was murky.
We don't have any volcanoes here in America. The last one we had was St. Helens.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying.
But that ain't even a volcano. That was a mountain that blew up.
Yeah, but leather did come out of it a little. But anyway, that is just watching the situation, and what else? And they starting to feel some tremors coming out of that other earthquake zone that that's here in the east. What do you call it? The New Madrid fault.
Yeah. Well, that's in Tennessee, isn't it?
It's in Tennessee. It affects several other states though.
Yeah. So I think that thing went off one time
Up under the
a
Mississippi
few
River.
years ago. Hadn't heard nothing from it since.
Up under the Mississippi River. It's Tennessee, Arkansas,
Yeah.
and a little piece of, if I'm right, it could be Missouri, Tennessee,
Yeah,
and
Missouri.
Arkansas. Up under the Mississippi River, those tectonic plates right there. You know? Yeah.
Well, didn't the Mississippi dry up one time?
Well,
I think it did.
Huh?
I think you're right.
Did it ever recover?
I don't know. I heard about that though.
The level dropped just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I know, but what are they doing now?
I don't know.
You should have a lot of ship traffic.
We done had a lot of cold weather, a lot of snow up north. After that dry up, extremely amounts of snow and stuff up north had been melting. We done had a lot of cold weather down here, so all that extra snow melting has filled it back. So
It's filled back up.
It's all the way back up. The beach way trips can travel now. Still, all the snows are coming, all these extra blizzards. So they use HARP to help the river out.
Well, I can't think of a better reason to leave. Because this place ain't gonna be here too much longer.
They can be pristine. I want to leave.
Huh?
They can still be this country can be pristine. I still want to leave.
Yeah, I guess you're gonna be there, bro. But let's continue, Brother Stephen. Pick it up where you left off.
Okay, Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 35. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face. Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, saith the Adonai Elohim.
So how did he plead with our fathers?
Right.
Plagues?
Right.
Yeah. Plus that that 40-year journey out there in that wilderness, that was pleading with our fathers too, because they doubted he could bring us into the land. So they let us stay out there 40 years. That was pleading with them too. But you would think that they would learn over and over again. But they never learned, so y'all had to continue to plead with them. Yeah, go ahead, Brother Stetson.
Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 37. And I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant, and I will purge out from among you the rebels and them that transgress against me. I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel, and you shall know that I am Yahweh.
This has not happened yet. We're talking about a whole lot of people leaving America and going to a place that nobody knows where they'll be, because by that time, all communication will be shut down. We're looking at anything like an EMP, right? And well, there was something I said there was another way that you could shut this country down. They got two ways they could shut it down. Those people that break into your website or breaking crack. Yeah, those people can shut this place down too. So so it's just a matter of time. In verse 37, it says, "And I will cause you to pass under the rod and will bring you into the bond of the covenant." What does pass under the rod signify?
The law.
Counting? Yeah, they count. That's how you get tithes to the Levites. You count the number of sheep you have by letting them pass under the rod. Now, that's how they did back in those days. Yeah.
So the remnant that's gonna come out that wilderness, they already numbered. So this counting is like these the ones that's gonna be accounting who's gonna make it. And they can probably count everybody, but you going and this number is going, this number ain't. So like the numbers already, you already got the number, I guess, in mind. It's gonna
Well,
make it.
y'all already knows who's going to be coming to the land, but let's see why. Go ahead, Brother Stephen, read verse 38.
And I will purge out from among you the rebels and them that transgress against me. I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel, and you shall know that I am Yahweh.
So all those people that come out of America will not go into the promised land.
That's right.
Because you look at how black people act now, they're probably acting like that out there in that wilderness. And so y'all wouldn't have any trouble purging those people out.
You know what? They don't want to leave. They say Atlanta is the new Atlantis. It's
Atlantis.
Atlantis.
I see.
Why is it the new Atlantis?
Not the new Atlantis. The Atlantis that was supposedly not have been found. It's Atlantis. So you have a whole lot of black people like doing prayer, these spiritualists and all that. It's not just a couple days ago.
Well, I can say though, Atlanta is named after Atlantis, right?
No.
Yes, it is. Edo Yaakov did some research on it years ago. It's named after the mythological city, Atlantis. That's where they got that from.
So at one time, Atlanta sat by itself in the whole world,
No.
and everybody had superpowers.
No.
That's what I'm hearing about Atlanta. That's some kind of supernatural place for people. Mine was way above anybody else's.
No.
Right? They had super technology that could harness energy so that it'd be a self-sufficient city. What happened?
Now,
Huh?
It's something on the water.
Yeah. Well, how is it if it's underwater? How is it Atlanta then?
what you saying, you correct. What I was just saying, Atlanta was named after they got that from. It's a root word of Atlantis.
But nevertheless, how can they say that Atlanta is Atlantis?
No, I don't believe that.
So that's what he just said.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
They try to say underground Atlanta.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. You saying black folks saying it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
What does the white man say?
That's who we supposed to lead, white man on.
See, if y'all listen to each other, you ain't gonna ever get anywhere. But listen to the white man. Right? He built this Bible. Right? He got all the books. He got all the records. If he can go in the records, and he can show you, no, y'all Negroes. Y'all not Atlanteans.
And y'all will lie.
Yeah, y'all do lie.
I
You got to wrote down. Negroes will lie.
tell people which you told us. I told them, brother in barber shop, I said, you know, a long time ago, a slave's testimony was not admissible in court
Right.
because they know Negroes would lie.
He gonna lie. He gonna lie. He gonna tell a lie. So
And I
you
tell
can't trust a slave testimony, man. They won't let no slave testify in the white man court.
I told them also they like this. I said, now when white man, I told them brothers exactly what you say all the time. When white man lie, he get paid.
Damn
Negro
right.
lie, they go to jail.
Go to jail.
They couldn't say that.
You can't dispute the truth. Because right there in your face, don't get mad at me. I understand our predicament. And I understand also that we won't be in this predicament forever.
Right.
So let white folk be white folk, man. Leave
Yeah,
them folk alone, right?
leave them alone.
They built this bad boy. They set the whole government up, and you mad at them. You jealous of them. I ain't jealous of white people.
Me neither.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was in Kroger this morning and the customer service line, and the guy was behind me. Said, "Salam alaikum." When that man said "Salam alaikum," I said, "Oh, hold up, man." I said, "Look, man, I'm not a Muslim, man." I said, "I'm a Hebrew Israelite." Then he turned around and he said, "Well," then he went, "Well, I read this book and I'm into this and I understand where you at and all that." I say, let's clarify one thing first of all. I said all those religions. I said let's clarify this. All those religions was the founder of those religions was a white man. He had a white friend with him. I said I don't have to read all them books.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I said because
then Muhammad start
Islam.
Islam.
Yeah.
Well, how come you call him white?
Well, he basically of that pit of snakes. As far as the blood dripping from their hand with our people, he's up that pit of snakes. Him in Christianity with all them different fathers and founders of Christianity. That's what I was telling him. I don't have to read all these different books, man. I say I got one book right here that I read, and that was written by our fathers.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, it looked like to me you should be intellectual enough and intelligent enough for all the books you read to read that the devil deceived the whole world, huh? I left him with that.
We're trying to find a lost sheep, Elder.
But he
You run their ass up.
But he come to me with that. He come to me with that challenging, man.
No. Just you should have said shalom.
Yeah.
And walk off.
Yeah, well, I did that,
He would have got it. Then he would know the whole story. Just because you said shalom.
Yeah.
No, but one people say shalom.
Which is the Hebrews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, he knows he's not talking to somebody that he understands.
Yeah.
Right? He knows that you're a different person.
Yeah.
So that cut out a lot of talk, cut out a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
So just saying shalom would end the conversation.
I got you. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Ain't that what you do?
Yeah, well, I had a guy told me, he say, I read this book and I read that book. I say, so what? What you get out of it? What you get out of it? I say, those books. I say, now the book I read, a great king in Israel said, of the reading many books, there's no end, and much studies are wearing of the flesh. I said, those books you read, people write those books to make money. That's their opinion. Opinions like behinds and noses, everybody got one. So I said, what you get? You just got knowledge, bro. What is the truth? And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the truth?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody got knowledge.
Mhm.
Well, that's what the Muslims came up here in our class one time. You remember them?
Mm-hmm.
They,
Yeah, you
they
know, I remember
they admitted that they just came here for knowledge.
knowledge.
Yeah,
All men got knowledge.
yeah. That's what you do with it. But let's go now. Again, we see there's going to be a purging out there in that wilderness. It's still referencing Isaiah 35 when it first speaks of the wilderness experience. There's going to be another wilderness experience, is letting you know. Let's go to Hosea chapter 2 and look at another vision of the wilderness.
Mm-hmm.
And pick this up, Brother Stephen, in verse 14 and verse 20. Again, this is another vision of the wilderness experience. Remember in the last in chapter 20 of Ezekiel, he said he's gonna cause you to pass on the rod and bring you to the bond of the covenant.
Yes, sir.
Remember that? Let's read a little bit more about that covenant. Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Hosea chapter 2, verse 14. Therefore, behold, I will allure her and bring her into the wilderness and speak comfortably unto her. And I will give her her vineyards from thence, and the valley of Achor for a door of hope. And she shall sing there as in the days of her youth, and as in the day when she came up out of the land of Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
And it shall be at that day, saith Yahweh, that thou shalt call me Ishai, and shalt call me no more my Lord. For I will take away the names of Baalim out of her mouth, and they shall no more be remembered by their name. And in that day will I make a covenant for them with the beasts of the field, and with the fowls of heaven, and with the creeping things of the ground. And I will break the bow and the sword and the battle out of the earth, and will make them to lie down safely. And I will betroth thee unto me forever. Yea, I will betroth thee unto me in righteousness and in judgment and in loving kindness and in mercies. I will even betroth thee unto me in faithfulness, and thou shalt know Yahweh.
So marry his wife again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The best way for me to ask this question is like Ezekiel is speaking more to Jacob, and Hosea here is speaking more to Israel. About when we like those of us that know who we are and we keep the commandments. This is who Hosea is speaking to, and it seems like Ezekiel is speaking more to those that do not keep the commandments, not know the law. As you know, what I mean, that's how these two prepare each other. It seems like,
Yeah. The question is, when would that take place? When would the purging take place?
Mm,
And where is the solitary place?
mm,
Now, those are open questions that we can't read the answer. But at some point, this is going to kick in. And it says it's going to lure her and give her the valley of Achor for a door of hope. That is in southern Judah. So that'll be where you're going in. But he's speaking loving kindness to his wife here. Whereas before in Ezekiel, he's pleading with him. Right. So what it ends up doing is he's taking away those that will not be coming into the land of Israel anyway. So right here is the result of just his people that he's talking to here. I imagine that could be the ones that survive that destruction of that 2/3, right? So again, let's look at another vision of this in Revelation chapter 12.
mm,
You know, Elder, when you said that, I was thinking about meditating on that this week about how we had Moshe in that wilderness, that first experience. Well, we had Moshe to take us out. But see, it says now, well, you got to save yourself.
Yeah,
And
deliver
yeah,
thyself, O
deliver
Israel.
thyself, O Israel. And it said, you can see right now, Yahweh is really trying to get our attention over here.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at that purging, some of our people just like going back to that Atlantis thing, our people keep coming up with everything to stay here
Yeah.
or everything
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
to not want to leave. So some of that I'm just saying a lot of that purging is gonna happen here before we even get up out of here.
You know,
Because some of them just like no matter how many times we are witnessing to them and talking to them, and then Yahweh's name is all on the internet now. Even you got brothers that we may not agree with what they're doing necessarily per se, but they also do say keep the law, which points you back to the book. And a lot of people just don't. They like, I don't want to hear it. Doesn't matter. So I'm looking at that like a lot of that hurting gonna happen right here because they ain't gonna know where to go. Like Moshe was able to take us. You ain't gonna no. There's no Moshe figure to just take you now.
well, you also have to consider if we don't have a Moshe type figure that they can point the finger at. You also have to remember in Jeremiah, I think in verse 51, in chapter 51, he said we got to be the he goats before the flock. So the he goats always lead the flock. So each and every one of you may be a he goat, leading the people to where they need to go. Yeah.
But with Moshe, he also has elders of the people. He went and talked to elders when they was in Egypt. He had elders out there. In the camps we have elders, but outside these camps, these folks don't have no elders. They have nobody to look up to them and give them any direction. So it's like they just lost. Like it's lost because
Are you talking about the Hebrew brothers?
I mean, like the camp,
Everybody.
just everybody deal like with the different Hebrew camps.
Yeah, they don't have any elders
They
in
don't
them.
have elders, but it's talking about people. Like in Egypt, the elders among the people, like the oldest of the tribes, and people of the tribes, that descended deep the heads of the tribes, whatever they had all that, they knew who they were. But you look out here in our communities, ain't no older people. But it's a complete separation nowadays. So it's not nothing like okay, I got elders. Like in the camp, you got Steve, you got the camp. You know what I mean? But outside the camps, they have no elders to lead them. I mean, even the politicians are getting young, and they don't have a clue what they do. You know what I mean? They just want some money, so it's like they're getting lost.
Yeah, but you were correct when you said that they just don't care and they don't respect the elders. So these are the ones that are going to be purged out. And we can expect to see that considering the way we're living now. Yeah, it's dangerous. Them young black people, they're dangerous, man, to their own people.
Yeah.
So you can't expect them to follow leadership. They're just gangster as they eat all those other people. So what's going to come of that? I can't tell you. Just hope you don't be on the same boat with them.
But we got some guys up here in this camp. They say black people don't pose a threat to each other. They believe that. They actually believe that. Say that stuff on television is something that's an illusion. That's not happening. Stuff you
Oh,
see.
so they just made it up.
Yeah. That's why we got
The news makes up the news about black people.
all you gotta do is ride around Atlanta. You can see crime tape where something happened, right?
Yeah,
Laying down on the sidewalk and steal around houses.
yeah.
Well, such and such thing. Well, they do this, but that's not really us. I said, brother, we got it right here in the book. I said, Yahweh kicked us out of the land because the land's soaked with blood. But they got that mindset that actually they are making us look like that. But I say, brother, I disagree with that.
Well, we do make the headlines, though.
I think so.
Yeah, and the prison houses are testimony as who's breaking the law.
Right.
Right. So we're not about 13% of the population, but we got 50% people committing crime against each other. And the prison houses are full of us. Now, no doubt it's conspiratorial. They just want to get rid of us. But nevertheless, you don't have to fall for that trap just by not killing each other, not committing sin against each other. That's the whole issue. This is what happens when the children of Israel refuse to keep the commandments. Them curses come upon them, and will be a byword and a proverb and an astonishment among the nation. That's why,
Yeah.
because we're killing each other, and we make the news. If you didn't kill each other, you would make the news. Just to pick up something else, they say, "Well, they stealing now." Well, who don't steal? But nevertheless, they always got the camera on you,
Mm-hmm.
and you looking up at it with the money in your hand. So what do you think people are gonna say? So yeah, if anything, we deserve this.
Yeah.
So we don't have any kind of modesty, fear of anything. Just don't give a damn about nothing. So we make ourselves a reprobate before everybody in America.
We don't want
Let me get my brother here.
Like for example, once a week, midnight on the parking lot, they have a car show. They make them. You can see
donuts.
the donuts all over behind the laundromat, and then so they do it about twice a week. But sometimes the DeKalb County, they be parked out there when they feel like it. They park there for about 2 or 3 hours, and nobody don't show up. I mean, they did it for themselves and they leave. But when they do that party stuff, then you don't see them.
So the police are sitting out there watching them do donuts.
Yeah, one of them was parked right by the Georgia Department of Labor. Got the lights on, not flashing, just regular blue lights, and they part of it. I think they're part of that stuff that they do, that young folks do. And I
See
said,
what I'm
damn,
saying?
I
Yeah.
see
You
it.
can't even trust the police, man.
Yeah.
I know they're black policemen.
We don't want to concede. The problem with us, we don't want to concede that we got problems within our communities.
Right.
But now this thing came full, it's been blown up since Trump did what he did in Washington, D.C. Now you got people in other cities saying we need that same thing.
Right.
And we talking about the citizens, not the politicians. They telling Trump, no. We don't want American troops on, we don't want military on American soil, right?
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, you got citizens saying now, I mean, people my age, old women, old men, say bring it on.
But the thing is, you got your Chicago mayor has just told the police to stand down, do not hit ICE.
Wow.
Yeah, Brandon something.
Let me get him right.
You know, I feel like what Elder Stephen is saying, you know, I look at it as it's a blessing for them brothers to feel that way and see that way because y'all is obviously protecting their minds, their lives from that. You know what I mean? Wish I could have that blessing because I see it every day. You know, we are violent. We are hurting each other. You know what I mean? Where I'm at, I'm seeing it. It's a regular basis. We are hurting each other. And they don't if answer buts about it. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, the police, like, you know, there's only so much they can do. You know what I mean? But you know, as far as the military coming in, that might be us being stretched even thinner. You know what I mean? Because you all around the world got to come here to America, that's being stretched even thinner. So I mean, I guess that's part of prophecy too. I guess I'm not sure.
What you have is the Democratic mayors of the blue cities. They don't want crime to stop. So they're fighting tooth and nail to keep Trump from coming up in there because they know Trump will clean it out. But they don't want to clean it out. Yes, sir.
Now, in reference to that situation, as you say, and we see every day, those Democratic mayors over those cities, you know, it's basically it's a disgrace the way they act in the seat of authoritative power. But looking at it, you know, as far as ICE going and get the illegal immigrants, you know, we used to see more or less the migrants standing up against ICE when it first started off in LA. We used to see the migrants. You know who you see now basically standing up against ICE? Them white folks.
White folks.
Yeah, them white women and them white males. Now listen at this good now. 70%, I think they went back to 2016, from 2016 up until 2025. 70% of those the white males lead the list in fentanyl overdose. The white males.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I have to be like Cat Williams on that one.
Yeah.
Well, you got those people. You got those people that's standing up to ICE. He's talking about they just paid agitators,
I know.
liberal white people. That's all. Them
Because
sodomites.
when black people had that plague of crack cocaine, white folk didn't do a damn thing.
At all.
Now they got fentanyl,
Mm-hmm.
and they're looking for us, and we ain't gonna do nothing for them either.
I don't think they reported it. A lot of people out here dying left and right by fentanyl. I done had in the last couple of years over 10 people that I know for a fact, and people that was close to me that died off fentanyl. Fentanyl is killing our people left and right. They just might not report it, but it's devastating our people right now. Fentanyl is killing our people, and it's an
Yeah,
addiction. That's all they're pushing. And they out here dying from fentanyl. It's crazy how many people dying from fentanyl, and they're not doing nothing about it. I'm not saying that they're not really locking people up. They tell people, well, you don't want to tell you not to use drugs, this and this. They're not going to keep the people that sell it. I mean, people are dying. Our people are dying left and right on fentanyl. Right now,
well,
people dying.
how can people take you seriously when they use fentanyl in the hospital?
Right.
Right.
Where they getting the fentanyl from?
Making it.
Yeah, so yeah, there's some games being played. So sadly, I didn't know how people falling down like that
They're
though.
falling left and right. They're
Yeah.
falling left and right. They're falling left and right.
Oh well, I'm sorry to hear that, man. But they can put that stuff in anything you eat, from what I hear.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be careful with everything now.
Putting in marijuana too. They lace it in marijuana.
Say it ain't so.
Yeah. So you gotta be careful with that too.
Mm-hmm.
You might get one drug and you get fentanyl mixed in and it's killing you because you can't handle it. That's
I think that happened to one of them apples. So I a year or two ago, one of them apples up in New York. He smoked marijuana and somebody had fentanyl in, and he died
Wow.
Where was this at?
up in New York.
Oh, in New York?
Like a year or two ago, one of them apples.
Oh, one of them actors?
Yeah, with a black hair. Male apple.
They get a read of frosty look so it look like it's good, but it's fentanyl.
Yeah, so you know what I mean. He ended up dying from it.
They get the guy that sold it to him?
Yeah, I think they call
Okay.
Let me ask y'all something. I know y'all got to go and play. Those people that sitting, laying on the sidewalk with the mouth open, right? They on it. Is that stuff too?
Yeah.
That designer drug, whatever they call it.
Yeah, that's it.
They look like zombies.
Yeah, that's that same thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, they just some of them just standing and
Bent
bent over.
Yeah.
Can't go nowhere. Just bent over. Or just laid out in the street.
I saw that, man. That was scary.
Yeah, I know. I know. Somebody doing something around here, bro. We didn't see that in the 60s, in the 70s. I mean, you had the heroin
Right.
addicts. But this year, we ain't never seen nothing like this. It's like an epidemic. All of them mostly white.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, white folks, wake up. Just say no. Remember how y'all. That's what you told us. So we're saying the same thing. Just say no. But let's read another version of this wilderness experience, Brother Samuel. Let's pick this up in Revelation 12, verse 1 through 17. I try to skip up a little bit because a lot of it doesn't have anything to do with that. But let's look at what it means when we talk about the wilderness experience. So what you do is read verse 1 to verse 6, and then pick it up at verse 15.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
So we know in physical time that happened during the reign of King Herod. And he being put in place by the Roman Empire. So that would be the government when it says, and there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. That would be representing the Roman Empire. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven and did cast them to the earth. And that would be those unclean spirits that the Mashiach encountered in those demonic possessions. That would be those those stars that have been cast down to heaven from the tail of that red dragon. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, but to devour her child as soon as it was born. So that was King Herod, but he didn't get that. He didn't get the news after the child was born. The child would have been about 2 years old by then. So he sent out all of Bethlehem to kill every child under two and under, trying to get the Mashiach.
So, Elder, we could look at that same demonic activity going on today, right? And what's going on, like you said, we seeing things that haven't been seen before on a and most people, no matter what nation, they are saying this is biblical. What's happening? Because we can see now it's almost time for the Mashiach to make his return again.
Right.
So we're looking at you're looking at that same scenario. Is that kind of like that same scenario here? That what we looking at right now? All this demonic activity going on right now. That happened here.
Here in America.
I mean, just in general, yeah.
Yeah, well, not just here in America, all over the world.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, not just here in America.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because you got to remember now when we read up in Revelation 16, that unclean spirits in the form of frogs will come out the mouth of the one world government and deceive those people into fighting with somebody coming out of the sky. Right. So you can see that as the demonic possession. But that again, that would be the end of the Satan rulership on the earth. So this is how he fight back. Right? So when these unclean spirits, when the Mashiach encounter these unclean spirits, you did not see nothing about unclean spirits in the scriptures, nor in the law. All of a sudden, they're all around the place when the Mashiach began his ministry. Right? So this is describing why he started to see this. It started back in his days. Now, we don't know what they were doing before that, but they made themselves manifest because they recognized who he was. Right? So with this showing you what was happening up in heaven, it's already preordained for that to happen. All right? So the King Herod was waiting for the child. He wasn't waiting on the child to be born. The child had already been born. So he just went to send somebody out to kill him. And he was already gone. Pick this up at verse...
I need to read 5 and 6.
I thought you read that.
Oh,
okay, go ahead.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 5. And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto Elohim and to his throne.
So that is an abbreviated life story of the Mashiach from his birth to his death, resurrection, and going off to heaven. Go ahead.
Verse 6. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she has a place prepared of Elohim, that they should feed her there 1,260 days.
Now, that's during our time. All right. So we're looking like a little less than 2,000 years ago. That is the difference between the time of the Mashiach and our time. But they act like they almost happened at the same time. So it said, and the woman fled into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared of Elohim, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. So it's already going to be prepared when you get there. Yes, sir.
Now, the woman fled into the wilderness where she had a place prepared for her. That's us leaving here on those cruise liners going back to Africa through the door of no return. Eh?
Well, I'm not going to get on a cruise line with y'all. Yes, I've heard what y'all be doing on those cruise lines. You run out of chicken finger, man, it's all over. They can't go nowhere else, man, until they stop and get some more chicken finger.
Keep it stocked there.
Huh?
Keep it stocked with whatever boat we on.
No, I wouldn't even be on the boat with them, bro. Anytime you fight everybody on the boat because you didn't get enough chicken fingers, yeah, I don't need to be on that boat.
That's what happened
Yeah.
on the Carnival cruise.
Was it chicken fingers or chicken? What? It was chicken fingers.
Oh, come on.
On the Carnival cruise, man. You ain't see it?
Big fight.
I heard y'all talk about it.
Yeah, it was a riot, bro. And that one security guard tried to go in there and try to break it up. He turned around. He went away.
Wow.
Well, then you look at, I know we run out of time to look at it. Beyonce concert, them idiots got on an escalator. Everybody tried to get on that escalator, and that thing just took off, threw people off of it. And they tried to blame the escalator company, but they said y'all had it's too much capacity. It was over capacity, right?
Overweight capacity.
Why are you doing it? Just for the hell of somebody screamed.
Mhm.
They screamed. They let out a sound. Everybody jumped on that escalator, and the thing just went.
What you mean? You mean how escalator do that? You talking about a ride at a fair or something?
Now we're talking about the escalator, little steps. You know the
Coming
Oh,
down.
the
Yeah.
oh the
escalator.
escalator.
Yeah, with
So you had too many people on there.
yeah,
What happened?
somebody screamed,
Overweight
and
capacity.
everybody jumped on the escalator going down, trying to get away, and that thing just took off.
Oh, it did.
Went in fourth gear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, y'all ought to seen
I haven't heard.
Yeah, I know who got on there. I know.
it.
They speeded up that escalator.
Man.
There's just so much escalator can take. They got weight restrictions on elevators.
Right. Elevators and escalators, you're right.
Right. So they should have it on them escalators too, considering how big these people are these days. Go ahead, Brother Stephen.
Verse 6. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she has a place prepared of Elohim, that they should feed her there 1,260 days.
How long is that?
3.5 years.
3.5 years, right? Pick it up at verse 13, Brother Stephen.
And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man child. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place where she is nourished for a time, and times, and half a time from the face of the serpent. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of Elohim and have the testimony of Yahshua the Mashiach.
Well, you got 2 different things going on here. You got one scenario where the woman's gonna go into the wilderness and be ministered to for 3.5 years. But you got another scenario where the serpent gonna make war with what it say? The dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, and which keep the commandments of Elohim and have the testimony of Yahshua HaMashiach. So what we have here is a 3.5 years of great tribulation for Jacob, happening at the same time that we are going to be in the wilderness. So it's you have to read that very carefully, because it sounds like either you're going to be tormented by the serpent or you're going to be in the wilderness. Which one is going to be? Okay, so now you see there's a difference between us and the rest of the children of Israel that are still scattered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
This ties into Exodus 20, the law. It says when we read the law, the old covenant, it says thousand that will love me and keep my commandments. That part.
What about it?
Thousands. It didn't say millions, it's thousands.
Well, we're looking at translators' words. All right.
Okay.
So you have to look at the fact that it said, thousand that love me and keep my commandments.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you very seldom hear the word millions in there. So if it just say thousands, that means millions ain't gonna be making it.
Right. Well, I understand that. It just when it said thousands, just said thousands. I didn't mean to put millions in there. It just
So my point is, we're not gonna have that many people left. It's only gonna be a remnant coming back into the land.
Right.
So he would say thousands instead of millions. Now that's not to say we won't grow into millions,
Mm-hmm.
because we're looking at 1,000 years apiece.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't work any field all day long. Sometimes you have to take a break. Right. So again, I just want to make clear that wilderness experience is reiterated through the scriptures and through the book of Revelation. So it's gonna happen. But you don't see anybody talking about it though. Except you told me that IUIC do that. Yeah. Well, let's go back to Isaiah. No, ain't too much time left. Let me see here.
Got quite a few questions too on that.
You got a few questions? Oh, sound like I need to shut it down quickly.
Look, we had a good class.
Let me see here. Yeah, we're gonna skip over Isaiah 36 to 39 because Isaiah 36 and 39 merely speaks about Sennacherib coming up to King Hezekiah and trying to remove the people of Israel out, no, actually the house of Judah out of the land of Israel, and he's going to give them another land. And Hezekiah pleaded with Yahweh to help him out. So that was that whole story. So in Isaiah chapter 36 to chapter 39, it's also reiterated in Second Kings and in Second Chronicles. So you got three versions of Sennacherib coming up to threaten the children of Israel, and they all basically word for word saying the same thing. So I'm gonna before we get dismissed, does anyone have any more questions?
I just want to make a comment. Brother Yahshua, he was talking about our people staying here, but I stand on the same premise you stand on. White people leave here, we're gonna go right behind them.
Yeah,
I got to go with that. You've been saying that for years, and I tell people, other Israelites, we can't do anything without white people.
right.
We can't stand by ourselves.
Mm-mm.
So Yahweh won't have no problem making us get up out of here.
Right.
When they leave, and you got Israelites saying, well, they're going to give us silver and gold. Where's that written? That's not written anywhere in the book. They're going to take their stuff with them, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're taking everything with them. They're leaving nothing for y'all. Do you blame them? So see, Yahweh make me understand that this is their country.
That's
So
right.
how would you feel if they was in your country talking all that smack that you talk to them here? You get them out.
Oh, we get away with it. You know what? If we had to go to somebody else's country, we wouldn't make it because these white people don't spoil us.
Yeah.
They let us get away with
Yeah.
everything.
Well, we still slaves.
Because we do just like our brother. He say anti-Semitic, and we say you're a racist. They have to back up.
Yeah. Let's see what's on chat.
I'm gonna make a correction what I said to that after he died in 2021, and it was heroin laced with him, not marijuana.
Okay. Well, I can sleep tonight.
Yeah, and sleep, man.
But they still put it in though.
I heard they put it in cocaine too.
And cocaine.
Yeah.
Man, that stuff that'll blow top of your head off, won't it?
I don't know. I never take it, Steve.
It's killing you.
That mixed with
That's
cocaine?
what a lot of people die from, right? Like that mix.
All right, here. Let me see here.
That's why I don't get high.
All right. Oh, that's a lot of folk on here. I got on YouTube Repentant Judah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Shalom Repentant Judah. Shalom Avisha Judah. Shalom Lone Red Wolf. Shalom Brother Alahayim Ben Yasharala. Shalom Julius Brown. Shalom Sister Neriah. Shalom Brother Alahayim Ben Yasharala and Sister Malaka. Shalom Brother Eliyahu Ben Israel. Again, welcome back home. Shalom Brother Kujo Goody.
Yeah.
Get him
Shalom Elder Tobiah. Shalom Elder Hiram. Shalom Susie Garman. Shalom Mikael. It says, Shalom Elder Priest and Saints. We spiritually see and hear the words of the hand of Yahweh coming to the forefront more and more as the days quickly come to pass. And Yah's will be done. That's absolutely right. Shalom Brother Malachi, Israel. Shalom Brother Roosevelt Petrie. Shalom Brother Kia. Shalom Gregor Rucker. Shalom Brother Abraham. Shalom Brother Malachi Israel. Shalom, Brother Mickey Anderson. Shalom, Susie Gorman. Shalom, Humble Rollers. Shalom, Yahweh Song. Shalom, Wonder M. Shelton. Shalom, Jacqueline. Excellent questions and answers. Praise God. Shalom, Humble Rollers. Elder, is it okay to say polygamy brings jealousy? Yeah. Yeah, it's because women, for some reason, they feel like they are in competition with one another. And so they're trying to get the favor of the head of the household to pay more attention to them. So yeah, it's jealousy, but again, it's competition because we got good evidence of this with Jacob and his wives and his concubines and Hannah and Peninnah. So that yeah, we got plenty of evidence that there is jealousy in polygamous relationship. Shalom Judah Yah, Shalom Shamayan Yasharala Elder, Shalom Esther Shasharala, Humble Roller Shalom. This is Sister Dinah. Can you explain Matthew 19:12? Let's see here. I think we might have talked about that. See, 19:12. Now he's talking about marriage and the rid of divorcement, right? Look what he says about. I'm gonna pick this up at verse 11 and 12. No, I'm picking up at verse 10. So look at the whole picture. This is Matthew 19, verse 10 to verse 12. His disciples say unto them, if unto him, if the case of the man be so with his wife, it is not good to marry. But he said unto them, all men cannot receive this saying, save they to whom it is given. For there are some eunuchs which were so born from the mother's womb, and there are some eunuchs which are made eunuchs of men, and there be eunuchs which have made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake. He that is able to receive it, let him receive it. What he said is that there are people that are born without genitalia.
Mm-hmm.
You call them eunuchs. And there are some people that are made eunuchs by other men for a specific purpose, such as overseeing his harem, like in the book of Esther. They're very trusted people, and they're loyal people, so they looked at eunuchs in that way. But he said, but there'll be eunuchs, there'll be eunuchs which have made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake. But he that is able to receive it, let him receive it. What he said is that it's better to be by yourself in the kingdom of heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Do not be concerned about getting married, because now you can control your passions. You don't have to look at a woman and commit adultery with her in your heart, right? So with a wife, you got to satisfy that wife.
Mm-hmm.
That lust got to come upon you in the kingdom of heaven. You don't want that. You want to have pure thoughts. Now, when you look at a eunuch, I think I mentioned this before. When a man is made a eunuch, he doesn't have very much testosterone. He has more estrogen.
Mm-hmm.
And some eunuchs speak with a high voice,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the same thing with those people that are made eunuchs. But when you're talking about make themselves eunuch for the kingdom of heaven's sake, that's not saying you have to cut your member off.
Yeah.
You can be celibate,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that'll be like being a eunuch. You want to be thinking about that. So being celibate is what it's referring to when you talk about the eunuch for the kingdom of heaven's sake. Because the kingdom of heaven going to be set up, and you're going to be a kingdom of priests in a holy nation. So in that capacity, you will know how to control your passions, because the priest have to be a certain way all the time when he ministering to Yahweh. Yeah, the priest can't have lust on his mind, thinking about his wife when he minister, because his mind ain't on it. And before you know it, fire shot out and killed him, right? Because his mind wasn't on Yahweh. So that's what that means, humble rollers, Sister Dinah, that it's best not to have that kind of those fleshy thoughts that we're used to. And the eunuch doesn't have fleshly thoughts because he can't do nothing. Shalom, repentant Judah. Shalom, soul in Israel. Shalom, Shebrew natural. I like that. Shalom Thomas Miller. Shalom Brother Jacob in Israel. Shalom Ezra in Israel. Shalom Hezfire. Cyber attacks is the heat of the way you're talking about.
I was saying, cyber check, you trying to figure out what the other way of America was gonna be.
Cyber attack, yeah.
Cyber.
Yeah, beside the EMP,
Yeah.
you got those cyber attacks. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Appreciate it. Shalom, Brother Adrian Davis, congratulations, my brother. Glad to hear you pulled out of that thing. Um, Shalom, Mickey Anderson. I was studying Genesis 10 and 25, where it says, in the days of Peleg, meaning division, the earth was divided. I understand from your teaching that there is no proof of Pangea. So may I ask respectfully, what does this division mean according to scriptures? And how should we rightly understand it in prophecy and in connection to the second Exodus? Well, let's look at that. At Genesis 10 and 25, okay? This book is coming apart. It was not meant for Hebrews. It was meant for Christians.
Because they won't use it that much, huh?
10 and 25. Let's see here. It says, and unto Eber were born two sons. The name of the one was Peleg, for in his days was the earth divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. So when were those days that the earth was divided? That's the question. The question is the answer is to the next chapter, chapter 11. We're going to see when the earth was divided. This is chapter 11, verse 1 to verse 9. It said, the whole earth was of one language and one speech. Remember? Before Peleg, it was of one language and one speech. And it came to pass that they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. Everybody that came out of the loins of Noah's three boys came and dwelt in Shinar. And they said one to another, go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, go to, let us build a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And Adonai came down to see the city and tower, which the children of men builded. And Yahweh said, behold, the people is one. They're not divided here. And they all have one language. And this they began to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So Yahweh scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of the earth, and they left off to build a city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because Yahweh did confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did Yahweh scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. That was the division that was referred to in Genesis chapter 10 and verse 25. It says, and unto Eber were born two sons. The name of the one was Peleg, for in his days was the earth divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. So the division came when they tried to build that tower up to heaven. And then when they confused the language, they all left and went into their own land. That was the division that was referred to. Yeah. Well, you're not going to have. Well, the earth is already divided now. You got people all over the world, so that actually had come to pass. And so the question remains though: if all these people came from Noah's three boys, all the boys had the same skin complexion. So after the Tower of Babel, they were scattered into those lands. How can the skin complexion and the hair texture change if they all came from Noah's three boys? But again, you have to ask Mashiach if you make it there. You ask him there, because we can't. Some people say because some went to the north and they became paler, and some went to the south became darker. So you can't really prove that because you got white people that have been in South Africa for generations. They still white.
That's right.
So I don't think the song got anything to do with that.
Mm-mm.
Shalom. I hope that helped you out, Brother Mickey. Shalom, Mother Marsha. Shalom, Mother Leah. Brother Mickey said, Elder Genesis 2 and 7, when Yahweh blew the breath of life into man, how does this connect with Psalms 110 and 4 and Hebrews 7? With the order of Melchizedek have something with the breath of Genesis 2 and 7? Well, let's look at the Psalm 110, verse 4. Let's see, that sounds like uh, the Melchizedek Psalm. Let's see here. Yahweh has sworn and will not repent, thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. Now look at that. Let's start at verse 1. Yahweh said unto my master, sit thou at my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool.
Mm-hmm.
Yahweh shall send the rod of thy strength out of Zion, rule thou in the midst of thine enemies. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, in the beauties of holiness from the womb of the morning, thou hast to do of thy youth. Now, the focus is on someone else, right? Because it says here in verse 1, Yahweh said unto my master, who said this? David.
Mm-hmm.
Yahweh said to my master, so David has a master. Sit thou at my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool. Verse 2, Yahweh shall send the rod of thy strength out of Zion, rule thou in the midst of thine enemies. That is still the master he's referring to. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, in the beauties of holiness from the womb of the morning. Thou hast the dew of thy youth. Yahweh has sworn and will not repent. You are a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. So again, whoever this is, Melchizedek, when you read about it in Hebrews chapter 7, you see that Melchizedek had no beginning or no end, neither father or mother. So in other words, he was a spiritual being that was more like an angel, but he had the position of a priest. It's a priesthood that is entirely different from the Aaronic priesthood.
Mm-hmm.
In the Aaronic priesthood, you had the duties of priests is light the incense, make the animal sacrifices, sprinkle the blood around the altar. But this is another priesthood here. This Melchizedek priesthood, that's a totally different priesthood. So that is the only way that the Mashiach could be priest of his people, not through the Aaronic priesthood, because Aaronic priesthood came through Levi. But this Melchizedek priesthood will be the Mashiach who came out of Judah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So with that is not going to be the same priesthood as again Aaron's priesthood. But we don't know what the duties of the Melchizedek priesthood is going to be. We know what the duties of the Aaronic priesthood is because it's already spelled out in the law book. But this Melchizedek priesthood, that's a different priesthood, and we don't know what they're going to be, what kind of priesthood. And besides that, it said you are a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. That means that he is high priest. The Mashiach is not just a priest. Now, when you look up into Genesis, you see that Melchizedek was a priest of Yahweh, ruling over Salem, over Jerusalem, right? But Mashiach going to be high priest. They're not the same. So we don't know exactly what all that means, but we know that we have to learn about this Melchizedek priesthood under the Mashiach, because he's going to be calling the shots. And that's why I said, no man can come to the Father but through me. Because the priest has to make intercession for you when you commit sin. Yeah, the breath of life, the Melchizedek priesthood. No, because this is a spirit. Melchizedek is more of an angel than a flesh and blood person.
Mm-hmm.
So that breath of life doesn't have anything to do with Psalm 110 and verse 4. You got two different types of entities here. You got, now I know, and I always ask this question, with Adam and Eve. And this what got your issue so pissed off with me. I said Adam and Eve did not have belly buttons.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
And your wife begged to differ. She couldn't understand how can anybody go without a belly button. That's because they weren't born.
That's right.
People that are born have belly buttons.
Mm-hmm.
Adam and Eve weren't born, so why would they have a belly button? But again, that might be the reason she left America and brought you with her.
See, you didn't have to do that. Man, he talked about me. Look what he did. Look what he just said.
Some people you got Yahweh's law and you got the Mashiach law. And you know that Aaronic priesthood or Levitical priesthood fall upon the Yahweh's law. And I think some people think that you got the Mashiach law, and that's what the Melchizedek priesthood is gonna fall up under the Mashiach law, meaning the same thing that the Mashiach already teaching. So that's gonna be the Melchizedek priesthood.
Yeah.
So that's what some people are already thinking.
Well, that we're going to be going by the Mashiach's law in the kingdom.
That's the Melchizedek.
Well, when you go by the Mashiach's law, you're not really going against Yahweh's law.
No, that's what I'm saying. You're not going against Yahweh's law, but as far as when you say that we're gonna have to learn, what the Melchizedek priesthood is about. Some people think that the Melchizedek priesthood is up under the Mashiach law, just teaching that. So, I don't heard people kind of, I don't see people on Facebook kind of, stir toward that way that's what the Melchizedek priesthood is about, the Mashiach law.
Yeah, he's going to be he's going to have that rod of iron to rule with, so that represents law.
Right.
So they say they're not going to be under Yahweh's law, but going to be Yeshua's law.
Well, that the Melchizedek priesthood is the Mashiach law. That's what it's basically about.
Well, how can that be when he just got into the priesthood? Melchizedek was already on the scene. So they're saying that he's going to take over the Melchizedek priesthood and establish his law.
When Mashiach reigns, you got to gonna be a dual priesthood. But the Melchizedek priesthood is just keeping Yahshua's law. That's basically what it's about.
Yeah, well, I can see that because you're still going to have the animal sacrifice. So the Aaronic priesthood still has to be in effect. Right? But they're not going to conflict with one another.
Right.
And Melchizedek priesthood has more to do with your personal behavior. As far as committing sin and making atonement for your sin, yeah, that would be under the Aaronic priesthood because blood covers your sin. Right. But they're not mentioning blood in the Melchizedek priesthood.
Right.
So we have to learn what that's going to be about.
But when you look at that, it's basically to me a title. It means an everlasting priesthood, right?
Yeah.
That's what I get out of it because we don't know anything about it yet.
Right.
So,
right. But he's a high priest.
Because he was an angel, he didn't have no beginning or end. So that the Mashiach, his priesthood is going to be like that.
Yeah. They're going to be dual priesthood.
You got one that's carnal and you got one that's everlasting, right?
Right. Let me get him, then I'll get you.
Isn't the Mashiach's law just a magnification of aspects of the regular law? It's still the same law. It's just magnified.
Right.
But it's still the same law.
Right. It's still the same law.
So there's really not no difference.
Right. Well, take for instance the law that says thou shalt not commit adultery.
Right.
What does the Mashiach law say about that? To look upon a woman, you've already committed adultery. So he's taking it to another level. The question is, we know what the judgment of adultery is, but what is the judgment of thinking about adultery? What's that judgment? It's the law.
Would it be the same?
Yeah, but you still die just because you're thinking like that. That might take you back to the Mashiach said, you'd rather be a eunuch for the kingdom of heaven's sake. So now your mind is on pure thing. You ain't looking at that fine woman walking down the street.
But let's go back to what you were just saying earlier about, you don't want that priest to be thinking that thought and then why you come out.
Yeah, because who you gonna hide that from?
Already had all night to get it off your mind.
If you won't know about it, ask him. Okay. But after all, thoughts are living entities, right?
But no,
Thoughts are living entities,
yeah,
right?
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they manifest themselves when they make you act on those thoughts.
But that thing, like you saying, so would it, the same judgment be just for thinking about adultery? Would it be the same,
That-
hold the same
That's
weight
that's the
as
question.
committing adultery?
Yeah.
Cause like he did compare and said, you know what I mean, if you think about it, you know what I mean, you committed adultery in your heart already.
Already.
So would it, the judgment be the same though? That's the thing.
I don't know, man.
So
Because when you actually do it, yeah, you're supposed to be stoned, right? But just think about it.
but,
What be the judgment of that?
but see, and the thing is, Satan won't be on the scene no more. So why would you be thinking about it?
Right.
Your flesh.
Well, what I'm saying, but most of those thoughts come from Satan, right? They don't evil thoughts.
Well, we're referring to the tempter.
Mhm.
He can tempt the flesh, but it's up to you whether you want to go through with it.
committed.
That makes me kind of hard, though. You got 75. You ain't got time to think about somebody else's wife. You got 7 your own. You just gotta be a real pervert. You shouldn't be a pervert in the kingdom. You know what I mean?
Well, somebody did not tell David that. He had more than 7
But
wives.
Satan was still on the scene then. You know, Satan gonna be gone, and you got 7 wives. With Satan out the scene, and you got 7 wives to fill all your whatever, get it out. You know, different nights and trips up. You shouldn't be thinking about nobody else's wife. You got 7 of your own. 7 is a lot of women.
That's why they had concubines back in the day. So you didn't hear about a man going into another man's wife because they know that was a death sentence. So they made sure they had concubines around him so you don't wear out his wife.
Where's what?
I see somebody else hand go up.
Elder.
It was mine.
Okay.
I was just gonna say, I remember in Ezekiel, I think it started around 43 or 44. It gives you an idea of how the kingdom is going to be like. The prince is going to be on the scene, and then it's going to be somebody else sitting on David's throne. That's the Messiah seat. No, that was David's seat. Is the Messiah, right? Okay, so I would say that's a clear vision on what Ezekiel experienced by writing it down to report what he had saw, how the kingdom was going to be during the 1,000 years.
Mm-hmm. But who is the prince?
I think it's David. King David is the prince.
So that'll be the resurrected David?
Yeah, the resurrected
Now,
David.
it also says that same prince is going to offer up sacrifices for the sins of the people and his sin.
True.
How can a resurrected person sin?
Oh.
Yeah.
And then another thing they said about that prince is that he's going to have sons. How can a resurrected person have sons?
Missed that.
Yes. See, you stayed around Ham too long.
There you go again.
Should that person be of the lineage of David? Like whoever going like he's directly descended from David as in the flesh.
It doesn't give his genealogy. But he's a very powerful individual, whoever it is, because he's got his own land. That's going to be around the land of the priests, around the city. He's got his own property. So whoever this is, he's a very powerful man. The rest of the tribe's going to be in their own lands. But this prince, we don't know who this is, but he has a lot of power.
Does he come from the tribe of Judah, you think?
Huh?
Does he come out of the tribe of Judah, you think?
We don't know because it doesn't give, because Judah doesn't make sacrifices, but this prince does.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Well, but it's doing it after a Aaronic priesthood. But the Melchizedek priesthood will not be making sacrifices. That's given only to the Aaron seed. So whoever this prince is, he's a ruler. And not only does he make sacrifices, but he also the priest takes his sacrifice and set it up for him too.
You know what, Elder? He could be one of the brothers in one of these camps, right? Around this country, right? He could be somebody in this camp.
Could be.
We don't know.
We don't
Right
know.
now, he's living. I think he's living right now.
I do. I believe it too.
He
Well,
just
like I
don't.
said, I believe there's 144,000 on hand.
Hmm.
So we don't know who that is, but nevertheless, all we got is the setup. We don't know how it's going to be done.
Hmm.
And so, Brother Mickey Anderson, I hope that helped you out now, my brother, that the Mashiach was made after the order of Melchizedek. And the Mashiach said that he is the root and the offspring of David.
Hmm.
So he's before David and after David.
Mhm.
That's why the Mashiach asked the Jews if the son of David is his son, then how does David call him master?
Mm.
They didn't know how to answer that because apparently they didn't know the scripture that he was from everlasting. We had to go through a process of making himself manifest in the flesh. And so you got the virgin birth, show you how pure this thing is going to be, even though it's coming out of sinful flesh. You couldn't have a man involved in the procreation of the Mashiach.
Mm-mm.
Only from David's seed that are preserved up in heaven. Yeah, so it's a beautiful tale, beautiful way of looking at it. That David recognized him too. Because that said, he said, my master said unto me, he says, uh, Yahweh said unto my master, sit thou at my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool. Right. So this David has a master, and this is his son.
That's the.
But they do have to bow down to him.
That's right. He's going to be king of kings, isn't he? He'll be king of his daddy. That's unheard of.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the kingdom of heaven has not heard of new heaven, new earth not heard of. So a lot of things not heard of that we're going to experience.
So you can't put Yahweh in a box then, right?
No. He's
Right.
just giving you a taste of what's coming.
You would think that David would be king, right? But actually, to be the Mashiach, and David to be a prince up on the king.
That's right.
But that's Yahweh's doing. But it seems like it's out of sequence. But that's where he does things.
I know. Who knows the mind of Yah? Yeah.
The prophecies concerning David, Jeremiah 30, Ezekiel 34 and 37, which mentions David's resurrection also. But yeah, I don't have the full understanding of how that kingdom is going to be. I'm just looking at what's been reported, and I'm just looking out for the signs. That's all.
Uh-huh.
I'm just looking out for the signs. That's all.
Well, yeah, it can be a little confusing, but it's still some order to it. There's just some pieces missing. All right, so that's done on purpose because there are some, like Elder used to say, there are built-in mysteries in the book.
Yeah.
So if you knew all the answers, then why even read the book? Why even repent? All right, so yeah, it just shows you Yahweh's mysterious. So you don't know Yahweh. You don't know what He's gonna do. Just be thankful gave you what you got now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that'll move David's body somehow along been moved because like with Abraham's sepulchre, that's one of the most heavily military guarded Muslim sites. You know what I mean? As far as the Muslim site, the military sites, one of is Abraham and his sepulchre, that sepulchre there. But with David's body being in Jerusalem, buried in Jerusalem, after all these years, especially with the Edomites over there, it seems like they would have somebody might have messed the body or the tomb or something. He might think he be already resurrected now and just not showing himself, maybe.
David?
Yeah. But at a
No,
certain time, he got to be resurrected.
no, because first of all, he got to be recognized
Okay.
that is King David. Now we know he's going to have a new body, so nobody's going to recognize him anyway. So that means he has to be manifested somewhere among his people. So that's why Eddie Yaakov said probably out there in that wilderness, there's going to be manifested.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So he'll be the one. He knows the land, and he's a military man. So with somebody leading the charge that cannot die, yeah, he might be out there in the wilderness with us. At the time that Yahweh brings us into the wilderness, that's when he may be made manifest. Okay.
All right, going back what we were just talking about as far as like the judgment for your thoughts or whatever. And we were saying, you were saying that because Satan tempted us, right? He's the tempter, but when we in that kingdom, you know, he's gonna be bound for 1,000 years. So if we think those thoughts, it's because of our own lust, right?
Yeah.
And I was just reading that in James chapter 1, verse 12, where it was saying, "Blessed is the man that endured temptation. But when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Adonai has promised to them that love him. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of Elohim, for Elohim cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempt he any man. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust has conceived, it bringeth forth sin. And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death." So when that judgment still be the same as actually thinking about it, because it's saying right here, when lust is conceived, it bringeth forth sin. And sin when it is finished, bring forth death. So if I'm thinking a thought of adultery, when that thought, you know what I mean, bringing forth that lust and then bringing forth sins which lead unto death.
In the kingdom,
Yeah.
um, depends on what the sin is. I mean, you can lust at anything, not just flesh.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, yeah.
Well, we got judgments for things outside of adultery that has to be atoned for, and that's where the animal sacrifice kick in. So it's still coming. They still gonna have the animal sacrifice.
Okay, yeah, I know, yeah, but I'm talking about like those series, like even when Mashiach was saying that he that, you know what I mean, the hated his brother in the heart is a murderer, you know what I mean? So if you get angry, he that get angry with his brother without a cause or something like that, you know what I mean? Like,
He's in danger of the judgment.
yeah, you're in danger of the judgment. So because you just thinking about it though, you ain't actually did nothing.
Yeah.
You angry with your brother without a cause.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you ain't did nothing to your brother. You just angry with him without a cause. But you say you in danger of the judgment.
Where's that in the Torah? Just because you're angry with your brother. I mean, the law said you shouldn't bear a grudge against your neighbor.
They say speak not even against him too. Yeah.
Right, but what is the judgment?
I don't know. But Mashiach said he in danger of the judgment. So.
Well, he never elaborated on what that judgment. He may be referring to the kingdom of heaven when he said that. Now, not because we don't have any judgment. But
the kingdom of heaven. Now, when
okay, now that's a different scenario.
The kingdom, you know what I mean?
So if that is true in the kingdom of heaven, we still have to wonder what the judgment is. So we're looking at the Mashiach law, and the Mashiach law doesn't really cover that much of a judgment. It tells you, it magnifies the law to make it honorable, right? But what happens when you break the Mashiach law? Spiritual, it's a spiritual break.
Right.
So what happens to you? What is your punishment? What is your judgment?
That's what I'm trying to see. Cause like, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, and you're angry with your brother without a cause, danger of bringing forth judgment.
Right. And like you said, he that hated his brother, you know what I mean, in his heart is a murderer, right? You know what I mean? He didn't actually do nothing, you know what I mean, against him, but Mashiach said you're a murderer because you hate your brother in your heart. You know what I mean? So would the judgment be the same as an actual murder? Because you hating your brother in your heart, you know what I mean? Mashiach said you're a murderer.
That's Mashiach's law.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So if you bear a grudge, you hate somebody, yeah, you might die.
That's what I'm
breaking
saying.
the Mashiach law.
Yeah, that's what
Now
I'm saying.
that's what you call keeping things in order. So you can't even think of nothing like that because you know what the judgment is going to be.
Right.
Now that gives you some idea of the mindset of the people in the kingdom of heaven. So you're going to have these wars breaking out because of lust or because of something somebody did to somebody, because you know that your very thoughts could get you killed. Yeah.
Like with that, I'm with Hezekiah saying, go back to, let's say, adultery. Now, with the thought, it hits in your mind, and hold on, I shouldn't be thinking like that, you know, contrary heart, you know, whatever. But then that's a little different than it hits your mind and you dwell on it like, yeah, okay,
Yeah, well,
nice, you know what I mean? But that's them two different thoughts. So I mean,
I know.
is it levels to that thought process of it being adultery? Because it hit your mind, you looked at it, oh,
But see, that's the thing. Like sometimes when those thoughts pop in your head, it might be Satan, but Satan gonna be bound.
right.
So you know what I mean. That's why I was just reading in James where it said that you know what I mean. Every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust.
Right.
So that'll be something that's already in your heart then.
So that's different.
And if you bear a grudge against your brother, you bear a grudge against him that made him in the image of him, right? So you in trouble.
Yeah, well, again, it's going to be totally different in the kingdom of
Oh
heaven.
yeah, no doubt. Yeah,
Your thought process ain't going to be the same.
I think so, because when Yahweh brings all this wrath upon the serpent and everything, man, it's just everything's gonna change.
Yeah,
And you got what the beast and the false prophet and lake of fire, the unclean spirits cast out of the land, and Satan in the bottom of the pit. You gonna have pristine thoughts, right? You should. Let me put it like that.
right, right. So again, all that's leading up to the new heaven and new earth. So your mind got to be straight, because you're gonna have that kind of thought, those kind of thoughts in your mind on that new earth.
No.
So yeah, again, this is a training time for you. The training you how not to think on wicked thoughts in front of the creator of all things. Uh, yeah, brother Mickey, that was a good question, my brother. But yeah, I think I answered you. Judah, should one not be planning for the future? I'm just asking because I feel lost a little. I have no idea how to plan for the future when I'm ready to go, because we have no idea when Yahweh is coming and life is still going. Um, Good point. What I would caution to you to do is don't make no long-term investments. Uh, you can live life, but you can't prepare for what's going to come upon the earth,
Mm-mm.
right? Because you don't know how Yahweh's going to come at America. But what we do know is it's going to come suddenly, and nobody's going to be prepared for it. According to the prophecy, it comes suddenly upon them. And how can you prepare for something that's going to come upon you suddenly? So the main thing is get your mind prepared for that to happen, and you can go from there. Um, Besides that, we just read in Revelation chapter 12 that Yahweh's going to have a place prepared for us in the wilderness. So what are you concerned about preparing yourself for when everything's going to be prepared for you? Uh, Ezra ben Israel, Shalom. Let me see. Elder, when we talked about Cain and the ground being cursed on Adam's account, wasn't that referring to the thorns and thistles, making it more difficult for us to work the land to get our food? That's not how the land was described when Yahweh told Moshe that he's going to bring his people into a land flowing with milk and honey.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I think we've gone beyond that stage, especially when you hear about the birth of Noah, that uh, they was hoping that with the birth of Noah, that'll be the end of the curse of the land. And so Noah had 3 boys, and in his time, the earth has become corrupt, and Yahweh brought the flood upon the earth, so that the thistles and thorns, all that's gone away now. So we got a brand new earth almost, and so everything's new because Yahweh washed all those other people out, so there was no need for thorns and thistles to grow anymore. That was just for Adam's sake. Shalom, brother Shechem ben Israel. Shalom, brother Shechem ben Israel. Shalom, brother Hodiah. Shalom, sister Malaka. Banaf, Yasharala. Shalom, Clarence Marks and sister Yolita. Shalom, brother Benaiah. Shalom, brother Adawan ben Yasharala. Shalom, Shaul ben Israel. Shalom, Melinda Curry. Shalom, brother Yosef ben Israel. Shalom, Elder Hezekiah. Shalom, Shaul ben Israel. Were the apostles killed before 70 AD? Yes. Yes. Oh, no, no, no. Yeah, yeah, let me take that back. Yeah, they did, because um, by that time, uh, some of the disciples, some of the apostles had been run out of Jerusalem and went to other lands. But by the time the Rome destroyed Jerusalem in 7 AD, all the letters that we see, the epistles that we read about from the apostles, was written before 70 AD. So we don't know how long it was after the last epistle was written before they were killed, because we know that they said that Peter was crucified upside down and Paul was beheaded. Now, we don't know what happened to the rest of the apostles. Let me see. How did I get there? Okay, go show. Yeah, it doesn't say they were killed before 70 AD. All we got again is the story of the death of Peter and the death of Paul, but it doesn't really give a time. No, I take that. It happened during the time of Nero. Nero killed Peter and Paul. Now you look at the time of his reign, you see that if they were still around that time, you'll see it. But Nero was responsible for crucifying a whole bunch of people that believe in the Mashiach,
Yeah.
and setting them on fire in Rome, and so causing Rome to catch fire.
John, he outlived them all then.
Yeah, well, we don't know that same John.
Okay. Because I know that he was on Isle of Patmos, what, at 96 AD, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I really can't tell you, Brother Shaw, what they all did by 70 AD, because some of them were scattered to other countries,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't know how long they lived. Shalom, Brother Kevin. Shalom, Mickey Anderson. Thanks, praise Yah. Mickey Anderson. So, Elder, the breath of life is supernatural and spiritual. How it happens? Because when we at funeral, the dead are not breathing, but the living is. So it has to be an order to connect or cut off the two. What's that called? Well, we're looking at the breath of life. You do not breathe on your own. You don't have any power to breathe. Yahweh gives you that power to
Mm-hmm.
breathe, right? It doesn't come from anyone else. It's Yahweh's mercy and grace that He gives you the ability to breathe. You can breathe while you're awake, and you can breathe while you sleep. Who ever heard of such a thing, right? So, yeah, that breath is not your breath. It's Yahweh giving you that breath,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can't do this by yourself. That's why when you look at a dead person, Yahweh is taking that breath from them, so they're just a carcass,
Right.
right? So there's no life in it. You can say the same thing about the Mashiach when they crucified him. He died on that tree. Well, Yahweh took the breath from him, so he actually died. But he revived him and gave him something more. A breath, yeah.
That's just sort of sign of just great mercy. I know he first was there, we alive, and he been there. But the people that's wicked and that denounce his name and curse his name and evil, he still allow y'all to breathe and give y'all breath and y'all to breathe and y'all deny him because and curse him and all these things y'all do is wicked. We just talking just then just showed me how merciful he is. Like he give you mercy, like he let the wicked breathe too. I'll give y'all life and I'm gonna let you keep breathing and you can keep denying me and cursing me. I'm gonna still let you breathe. That's just super mercy right there. That's crazy.
Yeah, they're still gonna be judged.
They'll be judged, but right now I'm letting you breathe. I mean, I'm giving you life to breathe and letting you breathe. I take a breath from you now. You know what I mean? Just this mercy. That's
People don't think in those terms, man.
right. That's so merciful.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. So that's something that man does not consider, and the enigma of his pride. What do you have pride of? What are you proud of when you can't even control your breath?
That's the thing. That's the one thing that man don't have to think about doing.
Right,
Is breathing.
right.
We got to think about doing everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Like we don't think about breathing. We just breathe.
You just breathe.
But everything else we got to think about doing. That's how you know. That's like when you say the difference between like the soul and when people say they got their own spirit. Like you know what I mean. You got to think about doing everything, but self breathe. You just breathe.
That's right. It's automatic,
Right. So you don't. You know what I mean. So
and you never stop breathing.
yeah. So they don't come from yourself then. So like, cause everything else we do, we got to think about. We got to think about eating. We got to think about drinking water. Anything,
Right,
except for breathing.
right. They take that for granted.
Right.
Yeah. So I hope that helped you out, Brother Mickey. He said the breath of life is supernatural and spiritual. How it happens, because when we at funeral, the dead are not breathing, but the living is. So it has to be in order to connect or cut off the two. What's that called? Again, it's called Yahweh taking the spirit back from you.
Mhm.
And you look up that word spirit in Strong's Concordance, you see it means emotion, it means breath, it means air, it means breathing. It's not a disembodied spirit that's separate from you. Those are the things that keep you alive, that keep you thinking. Right? That's what it means when you talk about man's spirit. Because when a man dies, that spirit dies with him. Yeah. So his spirit is the breath of life. So that breath goes back to heaven where it came from. Uh, uh, Brother Benaiah, praise God. Excellent question, Hezekiah, and excellent answer, Elder Priest. Because I've wondered about this for years, especially committing adultery in our minds. Also, I looked at as everything start with a thought before you do. My personal analysis was he laid that down in order for his spirit could have a place to dwell within, seeing his spirit in simple ways can't dwell together. I hope you can understand what I'm trying to say. You understand what he was trying to say? Huh?
I think lost too, I guess he's saying that the body gotta, you can't have wicked thoughts and then expect Yahweh to dwell with you and use you.
The temple gotta be pure.
Yeah, I'm trying to, because Brother Bernard, pretty deep, brother.
That's what I'm getting from what he just said.
Huh?
So from what I just said, that's what I was getting.
Yeah.
That, you gotta have pure thoughts in order for Yahweh to use you, to dwell within you and stuff.
How can a man have pure thoughts? And it's made of flesh.
That's what I was gonna say.
Huh?
I said that's what I was gonna say. So
Yeah,
it's
you
hard
can't
to
have pure thoughts.
I meet people that don't think so, like, just a lot of people divide. I meet some of our people, they don't have a violent thought, a violent emotion, violent. Some people just naturally got, I guess, more cleaner thoughts than, I won't say pure, but just cleaner thoughts of every
If you gotta
people.
go back to what the only thing I can say what the book say, commit that thought, commit that works on Yahweh,
Right.
the thought shall be established.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So then he'll be able to use it.
My thoughts are a whole lot more better. The longer I've been here, my thoughts are getting so much better. The dreams, everything is so much end up going in that better, righteous direction. I mean, since I've been here,
You
it's
got
been-
millions of unclean spirits, right? You can't keep clean thoughts.
Not all the time. He said, yeah, because the spirit
You have your moments.
Yeah.
They're all over the earth, right?
Yeah.
You put forth effort, though.
more than people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then that thing walk by you.
I think we understand what you're saying, Brother Benaiah. When you say, my personal analysis was he laid that down in order for his spirit could have a place to dwell within, seeing his spirit in simple ways can't dwell together. I hope you can understand what I'm saying. Is it referring to the Mashiach?
I guess, yeah.
Okay, well, you can't say the Mashiach had in simple ways, though, because he committed no sin.
No, he's talking about we have simple ways.
We got simple ways.
Yeah, and I get in order for the spirit to dwell with us, we gotta clean our thoughts and stuff.
How is it possible for you to clean your thoughts?
Can't do it on
Do we
that.
have any power to actually clean our thoughts?
No.
But you gotta have some type of
That's
you
why I
gotta
was
have
saying
some type of unclean thought to keep you humble.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying.
What now?
There has to be some type of thought in there that so you don't walk around high mighty thinking that, oh, I'm not thinking of anything wrong. Then some walk by you and boom.
But see, with the book,
That's
like
it.
the
One day I kind of try hard.
You know, then you're gonna think you above. You gotta stay humble. Like Paul had that thorn in his side that kept him humble.
Well, see,
You know what I'm saying?
that spirit should not always dwell. Then he said in Genesis that I should not always dwell with men because they're simple flesh. So the spirit not gonna always dwell. And then he said no man has the power to obtain the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know what I mean? But like I was just saying about, he said commit thy works unto y'all. Your thoughts shall be established. Like, you know what I mean? Y'all will give you those pure thoughts. We can't do it on our own.
But you can do everything out the book of what you still say, and you still gonna fumble.
I know.
So it keeps you humble.
Yeah, you're right. But it's still of God's will. You know what I mean?
If you got clean thoughts,
Yeah.
Let me get Elder right quick.
Okay.
Now, as far as as you know, as far as listening to the brothers and with the person still with on the internet, um, that's basically the deception of the whole matter, because Christianity in Christianity, those people say, well, hey, I have clean thoughts. You understand? See, that's the deception of it. Like for instance, like when they, using the scriptures, Satan transformed himself into an angel of light, and you have these thoughts, and that's the whole deception of the matter that that they can't break free from.
So why did Yahweh institute marriage?
Now, as far as marriage is concerned, I mean, for appropriation.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
isn't that some lust involved in that?
Yeah, there's lust involved in it, but um,
You can't have clean thoughts.
well,
You thinking about your wife.
yeah.
Mm,
Well, I agree with you. I agree with you with that, but see, that's the difference between our teaching, which is Hebrew teaching. Because I often tell people, I say, we the only people up on the face of the earth
My
as
point
a nation.
is
Yeah.
that you cannot have clean thoughts
No,
on
but
your
see,
own.
that's the deception, as I say, of Christianity.
You may have moments of clean
Yeah,
thoughts, but look at where you're living at
yeah,
in America.
yeah,
Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0.
yeah.
Yeah, so that temptation's all around us.
Well,
All right, but you have moments of clarity,
yeah,
and
it does.
we appreciate those moments because you know there's another side to the story.
Yeah,
That you can think of clean thoughts.
yeah,
Right? It may not last all day, but nevertheless, you had your moment.
Right.
yeah.
Was it Isaiah that said, I'm a man of unclean lips, not dwelling amongst the people of unclean lips? Who was it? Isaiah?
Isaiah
Yeah.
chapter 6.
Then what that seraphim took that cold and said, now you clean, so that was Yahweh's will.
Right,
So that's the same thing that Yahweh got to clean you up.
right,
We can't do it on our own.
right.
If you got unclean thought, you got clean thoughts. You don't need to entreat Yahweh.
Yeah,
Where is He glorified in that?
Well,
right.
You don't even need to pray.
that's what the
So
deception.
who says that they don't have any unclean thoughts? Who says that?
I'm saying, what we're talking about now, if you got clean thoughts, that's impossible.
I know.
That's all I'm saying. You don't need to even entreat Yahweh because you don't even see Him.
Man, you get more clean than dirty. Like, like years ago, my thoughts were way more, as a whole, it was way more dirty and
Mhm.
filthy and violent. Now they're a lot more righteous, so it's less. They still there, but my righteous thoughts still went up, my thoughts and imagination, and the filthy and dirty went down. So it's like
Mhm.
you go through the process, you try to be more righteous in your thoughts, because I think more righteous things, and now, like even my dreams, like if I have five dreams, I wake up out of them. I don't know, and I feel like dirty. You know what I mean? But when I was young, like, I love this guy. You know what I mean? It was just fine to be. So it's like it's not
You know what
it's
that's called?
not just completely clean, but you have more. You're more righteous than dirty. You're more clean.
Yeah. Do you know what that's called?
What's it called?
It's called growth.
Right. Right.
So you have to grow into that level, and as long as you stay in His Word, you will never stop growing. So we're not the same as we were 10 years ago.
Mhm.
And we can see that ourselves. We're observant about it. Y'all was showing it to you. So you knew what you were doing 10 years ago. Are you doing those things now? No. So that Yahweh raising you up to another level. Now you're becoming more of Yahweh's servant.
Youth is wasted on the young, ain't it?
Yeah, well, that's in everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's continue. I think I got you, Brother Benaiah. Shalom, Timmy Turner.
You think got other comment, but I guess you can get to
Shalom, Brother Ahaya, Yehuda Israel. Shalom, Mickey Anderson. Again, Ezra Ben Israel. I understand what you said, Elder, but where I grew up in Seattle, there were always storms when we tried to lick the blackberries. What what kind of blackberries have thorns?
You know what that was on the different bushes.
Yeah.
Y'all, you know.
Briars?
Briar.
Okay, those are briars. I remember picking blackberries, but I don't. It's been a long time since
They had them on there.
Did they have thorns back in the day?
Get wild whenever.
Yeah, that's growing wild.
It's called sticker fries or something like that.
Yeah, I remember going down in the country picking some blackberries, and I went to put my hand in the bush, and I saw a snake.
Oh, wow.
I said, "Okay, not going there today."
No, I was gonna say, but that's funny. We can, all of us came from a different region of the United States, and we all basically experienced the same thing. Like we used to pick blackberries too. So
Uh,
where did that come from? I mean, you from Georgia, I'm from Louisiana. These other brothers from maybe some other regions of the United States, and we all did the same thing.
well, we had what you call migrations.
Hmm.
So somebody from Georgia might have migrated to Louisiana. Somebody
Yeah,
from Louisiana might have migrated to Georgia,
yeah.
and so they brought their ways with them.
All right.
So blackberries were picked back in those days
Yeah.
in both places. So it's not necessarily where we learned it from; just
Hmm.
people brought it to us.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right.
Um, yeah, brother Ezra. Let's see, I'm sure what you said, Elder, but where I grew up in Seattle, there were always storms when we tried to lick the blackberry. Now you gotta pick them first.
Don't let
I know he didn't mean it like that.
see, he jumped on him, didn't
Uh, pick the blackberry. Now he's nice saying pick the blackberries. Brother Bernard says, work with me, Elder. That's a question. Like as in getting us ready for the coming of Yeshua to be called into the 144,000. How about that, Elder? Preparing us for battle. Well, it never really crossed my mind to be prepared for battle, considering how old I am. But with people like Brother Bless and people like
he? Him,
uh, I
him.
think Levi, somebody else said they want to be in that fight. Some of the young brothers they want to be in that fight. So that kind of thought, I never thought about that, but um, no, I don't think he's preparing old goats like me for battle. He prepared me to uh, have a reclining chair out there with a bag of popcorn. I'm pretty sure.
Like them wigs and eyelashes,
Uh,
little blonde wigs.
replying to Shaub in Israel, Shalom Elder, if we consider our own words, which are spiritual, are they really ours? Or are we vessels of the Spirit? Not necessarily. It depends on what spirit you're referring to. Now, just like uh, everybody has some type of guidance that tells them how to look at things, but that's being taught. But the spirit is something that cannot be taught. You either have it or you don't. Um, so, if, for instance, you know your spirit when you keep in the law, because the law is spiritual, right? So you look at any situation, and you can tell whether it is against Yahweh's law, promoting Yahweh's law. And that again, that would be spirit. But our own flesh and blood, mind, our own words, uh, we have to give an account of everything that comes out of our mouth. So if it's unrighteousness coming out of our mouths, yeah, we might want to be on guard from speaking unrighteous things. That's why the Mashiach said, "Let your words be few. Let your answer be yea, yea, or nay, nay." 'Cause all this comes to condemnation. So the less you speak, the less you be coming to judgment for. Uh, so you kind of wonder if these are our own words, then how did we come up with those words? Look at Judas Iscariot. Now Satan came upon Judas Iscariot and made him go get paid 30 pieces of silver to betray the Messiah. And then when he finally came to his senses, he hung himself. Now, being that he was a thief anyway, would those thoughts really come into his mind if it wasn't for Satan? Satan had to put them in his mind. Those weren't his thoughts. Satan put that in it.
You talking about?
Judas Iscariot.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, he present the situation always, yeah.
Well, was it already in Judah's heart?
Huh?
Was it already in his heart?
Well, with David, was that always in his thoughts when he numbered the people? He knew better. So it's something he had been thinking about for a while, or it just came suddenly on him.
You can't say that.
Right. Same thing with Judas Iscariot.
He couldn't do nothing about it.
Ain't nothing you can do. Yeah.
They still, and what didn't what they say with Judas Iscariot, he had the money back because he was a thief.
Yeah, but
So that second coming on him because he was a thief. He was money hungry. And
yeah,
with David, the Satan came on him because after when sin with Bathsheba, he opened himself up for Satan to come on him later to count the people. So it's kind of like that sin manifested into that lust, whatever it manifested because what he did with Bathsheba, even though he was forgotten, Satan was allowed to come on him after that. He lost kind of like that, I guess, a protection of glory. And
yeah, but
Judas Iscariot being a thief,
you
that
can't
opened him.
say all his disciples were like the pure snow.
No.
All right. Now
They were public
you look
enemies.
at Peter.
Assassins.
What did Peter say to Rashad when he told him, I want you to roll out a little bit further, you can find some more fish. And what Peter say after he found the fish? He said, get away from me, master, I'm a sinful man. So Peter knew he was a sinful man. So how did he know? Because of the law. That's how you gauge your sinfulness and your righteousness. Right? Now, that is your physical manifestation of the law. But what about your mental manifestation of the law? Because you can't see your thoughts. People can't see your thoughts. You can see your thoughts, but people cannot see your thoughts.
Well, like with laws, like you say, open your hand wide to your brother. That's a
Well,
mental part of the law. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's
Love that
law.
neighbor as thyself. That's a mental part of the law. They weren't catching on back then.
That's law. So again, the law is spiritual, right? So as long as your mind is on that law, you'll be walking in righteousness.
People like saying that
You don't have to be guilty enough.
law of covenant. We really can't see somebody covenant. It starts in their mind, right?
Hmm.
So they really don't cut. They cover it in their mind.
Right, right. But what's the judgment for that?
Yeah. You know,
I mean, it's still saying the same thing about you having sinful thoughts, and coveting is a sin if you covet something, right? But what was the judgment for coveting?
Didn't say.
didn't say.
Right.
But I think where the it's I think it's one of the letters of Paul when they said something about there's no sin greater than the other or something. That's how some people. That's how a lot of Christians say. There ain't no sin greater than the other. They talk
You
about
may be referring to James chapter
Yeah.
1.
the same thing I did.
Yeah, when you talk about there is no law greater than no sin greater than other sin.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's in James
All
chapter.
sin is sin.
Yeah, all
And
sin is sin. That's what they
and
say.
he
Say
said,
so, but they don't understand there's different judgment for sin.
Yeah,
and he said
yeah,
some sin, I recommend a man don't pray for it. Right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh, let's see. I'm missing some things here. Uh, okay. Mother Lake Ikea. The other deception of Christianity is that the Messiah did away with sin.
Mashiach.
Is that what she's saying? Mashiach?
Mashiach.
Okay. Yeah, you're right about that, Mother.
Mm-hmm.
Judah, I no person can keep clean thought like no person can prophesy today. So I know person. I think you meant no person can keep clean thoughts. Yeah. Shalom, brother Yashu. If we consider our own words, which are spiritual, are they really ours, or are we vessels of the Spirit? Um, what makes you think our words are spiritual? Because look at a comedian like Dave Chappelle. He used profanity all through his jokes. So those are spiritual. Is that spiritual? So the words that we use um, comes from the heart, and that's why you have to make your words very rare. Uh, so you won't be judged by your words. Um, Um, it depends, Brother Shaul, it depends on how you view yourself as it aligns with the spirit. So if you're walking in the spirit, that means you're walking in the law. So that is one manifestation of the spirit that you really can't see. You can't see a spirit, but you can see the action that the spirit brings that makes that person do something. Like that spirit that caused a person to shoot up the Catholic school. What kind of spirit was that? Right? So the spirit that makes you want to go visit the sick or pray for people. What kind of spirit is that? So it's what's going on up in here that lets you know that you're walking in the spirit because the spirit, the laws of Yahweh are good. So you don't have any goodness in yourself. That's why we have, again, in marriage, you have to have lust for your wife. But if you don't are not married, you don't have to worry about lust. You do those things that please Yahweh. A married man has to do the things that please his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So how is that a sin to
No.
do those things to please your wife?
Mm-mm.
Than to do those things that please Yahweh?
Mm-mm.
Yahweh put you together.
That's right.
So you got to do the duty of a husband and the duty of a wife.
Right.
And that means your mind can't be on Yahweh at nighttime.
I agree. That's a good point.
All right. So she laying next to you, you laying next to her. Say, what's up, Shawty?
That's his favorite saying, Charlie.
so,
Hooky.
so how can your mind be on Yahweh and Shaw right next to you?
That's a hard one, bro.
Well, I got a question to back what Brother Shaul was saying about the word being spiritual or whatever. So when Mashiach say every idle word that a man speak, he gonna come into judgment for. What would the judgment be for your words?
Well, in this particular case, you're referring to them saying that he cast out demons by Beelzebub.
So they
So he's
blaspheme.
referring to that because now you're blaspheming. Right? So they're being cavalier about it. So I just casting out demons by the Beelzebub.
Mm-hmm.
But he let them know what you're saying is dangerous.
Right.
Because you're going to come into judgment for every word that come out of your mouth.
Right.
Right.
So when it comes to us though, like I mean, as far as like idle words, you know what I mean, how would that judgment?
What will be idle words? What do you describe as idle words?
I wouldn't, you know, like, as far as like mentioning the names of any other gods or something, would that be considered idle words?
My father mentioned the name of other gods here. They mentioned Baal
Mm-hmm.
and Ashtaroth.
What would that be? Vain conversation. Just idle words.
Idle words, yeah, you can put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so I'm
But
saying,
vain conversation is just like vanity in that you imagining things that are not no profit for you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So those are vain conversations. But you're still going to be judged for
Mm-hmm.
so know what I'm saying. So how would we be judged? What would the judgment be for
them.
that?
I don't know.
That's it, man. That's what y'all talking about. That's something else. You know, I never considered all that. What is the judgment for this? Like you say, what is the judgment for suicide? What is the judgment? It's a whole lot of things, man. I need to write down that y'all wouldn't ask the Mashiach when it comes.
Yeah, yeah, man. You have a whole notebook full of questions, man.
Yeah.
Like you were saying about, I mean, y'all always being mysterious. I was just thinking about like a husband and wife, like always tell us that the man need to always remain mysterious with his wife. That way to keep her intrigued.
That's a good point.
Yeah, y'all will remain mysterious so we can be intrigued. You know what I mean? Try to learn more.
That's right.
He don't let us know everything about him, do it.
Oh, oh, y'all take it for granted.
And the book of Micah
Isn't
said,
that what a wife does when she know everything about her husband? Take it for granted.
he said, you know, Michael would have said, keep secrets from the wife of your bosom.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right.
And it was there and it wasn't there. Yahweh don't let us know everything.
Right.
He knew everything about us.
He the husband.
Right.
Gotta tell you nothing, wife. Gotta sit down somewhere.
Sit down, girl.
Yeah, let's see here. Let's see, I think I missed something here. Yeah, Judah Yah, right? They can't prophesy today. But then again, the spirit of prophecy came upon people that just regular people. And so we don't know what he did. Like for instance, Isaiah said, "I'm a man of unclean lips, dwelling among the people with unclean lips." So whatever you're doing, it doesn't matter if Yahweh called you to prophesy. Amos was a sycamore, a tiller of sycamore trees. But Yahweh called him to prophesy to the children of Israel. So, but a prophet like Jeremiah Yahweh knew him from the womb. Uh, See, Shalom, if we consider our own words, which are spiritual, are they really ours? Or are we vessels of the Spirit?
Yeah, you got that one, man.
Okay. Brother Bernard said, but we can't forget about the new bodies, Elder Priest. Well, you're right about that. Now, the evidence of a new body would be those that are resurrected from the dead. Now, those that are alive, it's coming out of Mashiach, and they live through that 1,000 years until the new heaven and new earth was built, was created. Will they have new bodies?
Except we all say change. What we gonna change?
Well, they can't have any blood in them for sure. But will we physically be different? How so?
I don't know if that's not.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because we know that the shed could not be recognized, right, at the resurrection. So everybody's going to be resurrected. We won't recognize. They have to let us know that they are who they say they are. And I thought about this the other day when it comes to the resurrection. Uh, the women that are resurrected are not going to look like women. They're going to be like the angels, right? That's what the check said.
Right.
So an angel might walk up on you. A person that's been resurrected might walk up on you and say, "Hey, I'm your great great grandmama,"
Mm-hmm.
but she like a dude.
Right.
So I mean, things that you can consider, right? Because if you're going to be like an angel and you're resurrected, then you don't have any female angels among the angels. You got those female angels that had the wings of a stork, but they didn't say nothing. But the rest of the angels look like men.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So in the resurrection, the Mashiach say they neither marry nor given in marriage, but are as the angels. So that means when the women are resurrected, they're gonna look like men.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna see your great great grandmother come up to you, looking like a dude. What you gonna do?
Like you said, what would be the purpose of a female on that new earth? Seeing it's not going to be any lust or anything around him that created all things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I said, thank you for your answers, Elder Priest. Yahweh willing, I can actually come down and sup with Yahweh in the near future, Yahweh willing. Shalom, Kim folks. Okay, praise Yah, looking for you. So those that are alive when Yahshua comes will not get new bodies. I'm asking for clarity. We receive a lot of off information from being under Donald Lee. That was he say his name? Donald Lee?
Yes. I thought you said, yeah.
But I go way back. He remember he says.
Yeah. He was up there, it says,
Well, up in North Carolina.
What benign you talking about?
This one live in Alabama. Yeah, he texts us all the time. That's the question, Brother Benaiah. If you're living through that 1,000 years and you'll be in good health, and you know that flesh and blood cannot inherit eternal life, the kingdom of Elohim, then will you have a new body? Would your body be reconstituted to live without blood? So people made with blood do not live forever. So it's a good question. You just got to wait long enough to see what the answer is. Because I'm not going to sit here and just make up something. I mean, I gotta give an account of whatever I say, whatever I teach. I gotta give an account of it. So I'm careful not to say things that I cannot uh, justify in what I'm saying. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down because it's going on 2 o'clock.
It's just one more, yo.
Is one more?
You skipped over Shaul. He was correcting what he said.
He said, "Is this the one? Sorry, Elder, I had duplicate questions." I think I was referring to ministering spirits and deceiving spirits. Thank you. Okay, that's the one I missed.
Mhm.
I'm sorry about that, Brother Shaul. You're right though. We do have ministering spirits of those that inherit of eternal life. So nothing can happen to you. You, if it meant for you,
Close it, bro.
not close though. They're like,
It's a door.
um, yeah, we have ministering spirits to those that are inheritors of eternal life. So nothing's going to happen to you, no matter what. And then you got those that are sealed. We talk about the 144,000. They are sealed right now, and you got other people that are sealed are going to be in that kingdom. That nothing's going to happen to. No matter what happened, the 3.5 years of Great Tribulation, nothing's going to happen to those people because they got the Father sealed in their forehead. 144,000 got the seal in their forehead. So nothing's going to happen to them. Um, and we talk about everybody else that's going to be in that kingdom. They're going to have that seal in their head, so nothing's going to happen to them. No matter how dangerous it gets, nothing's going to happen to them because again, we have ministering spirits that those that are heirs of salvation. Uh, and we have those deceiving spirits. That's why the law is so important because you see the Satan tempt the Mashiach. And how the Mashiach resisted temptation? You throw the law on it. So as long as you walk in the law, Satan is going to take Satan a little bit harder, make it a little bit harder for him to tempt you because the law covers everything. Did I miss anybody?
That was it.
It said, let me go back to Benai. It says, so those that are alive when Yahshua comes will not get new bodies. Nope. I'm asking for clarity. Do you receive a lot of off information from being undoubtedly, also known as Slayers? No, you're not going to have a new body if you're still alive when the Mashiach shows up. Your body's going to change, though. Your body's going to change to a point where it can live 1,000 years. That means your body got to be healthy and strong. So, in that, yeah, you're going to change. Like we mentioned in Isaiah 35, well, that'll be healing in the wilderness. Yeah, you got to look at that. But when the Mashiach shows back up, you're going to have healing among the children of Israel in the land. You're going to see that his ministry in Matthew, when he said, repent for the kingdom of heaven is at hand, he was healing people, raising people from the dead. So he let you know this is what's going to be going on in the kingdom. So yeah, when the kingdom of heaven is set up, we're all going to be changed in a moment, twinkling of an eye, so that your body will be more healthy, that it can stand 1,000 years like it was supposed to do in the first place. Adam was supposed to live 1,000 years. He didn't make it. All right, so that's where that thing's gonna go down. Yahweh willing, Brother Benaiah. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down because it's been a while. I don't think I've been here this long before. I'm in strange territory. I'll go ahead and shut it down. Thank you, Facebook. Uh, Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, YouTube, for joining us today. Join us for our history class this coming Thursday, which is Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. Join the sisters class on the 5th day at 8 o'clock. You can watch them on Zoom. And finally, we have our Sabbath service on Saturday starting at 1 o'clock. Again, thank you for joining us, Facebook and YouTube. Great question. That's what I love. I love those types of questions, and I thank Yahweh for allowing me to answer those questions the best that I can with His Spirit, so that we can come to some kind of understanding of what that question is saying and what the answer should be. I wish Yahweh bless you and keep you. Shalom.